Hey, this is Simon of Pressure, and you are doing something smart because you are watching Hard Rock and Sports. And we're very proud to have our video or our lyric video for the song Air of Freedom premiering here tonight. This song is about when you just came out of a real toxic relationship. And well, you still hurt, still very tough, but you feel this, it's that you're going to be all right. And you take your first breath for ages and you are filling your lungs with the air of freedom. Well, guys, thank you again. Please join us and follow Pressure Sweden. And to all the guys here at Hard Rock and Sports, you're doing the best job out there. Take care and stay metal.
I'm breathing in the air of freedom. I don't smoke, but tonight I really need it. Whiskey vapors are going down my lungs. I won't be the same when the morning comes. Feels like a needle
your name. From the way you look and the way you dress, I can tell you ain't got no shame, and that's alright. I'm just a man. Say you're from the city, where it all moves so fast. With your fancy cars and your diamond rings, you don't need a love to last, and that's alright. I'm just a man, yeah, yeah. So take me home tonight, like you know that you should. When you're ready to yourself and get there, get it to me good. 1, 2, 3. I'm just a rocker. I must say, never did things by the rules, always did things my own way, and it's alright. That's the way I am, anyway. My father was a teacher, taught me how to live. Said, son, you gotta be someone that take more than you give, and it's alright. That's the way I am. Home tonight, you know that you should. Ready to the best, just get there. Give it to me good. 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 You do it so.
And that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from Higher Top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 3-hour weekly get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to another Thursday night, July the 21st, here in the year of our Lord, 2022. It's a hot one out there, folks. I hope you got a little talcum powder. You're keeping the old sack dry. And you're listening to a Hard Rocket Sports Show for some fun and to keep yourself cool in the house. So, guys, we got a little show for you tonight. It's our 549th episode. Jesus Christ. 549 episodes of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. We're 1 week away from the big anniversary show. 550 episodes on our 8th anniversary big NFL training camp show. We do it every year. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of football with Jeff next week. We're going to have some guests. B. Brian Blair, the 80s, 90s wrestler, will be joining us. Our good buddy Mark Scott, formerly of Trickster, he of the American Premium Vodka, will be joining Jeff and I for the big anniversary show. I'm hoping to have a couple more guests and have you along with us. So, guys, buckle up, sit back, enjoy yourself. And let's get the show started. There's only one way to do that here on the Hard Rocket Sports Show, and that's by getting on my buddy, the Pope himself, the sexiest man on his side of the screen, Mr. Jeff Tolwinski. What's up, Hefe?
Not much, man. Not much. Just waiting to go back to work.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be what? Are you back this weekend or are you back Monday?
Sunday.
Oof.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that, my friend. I guarantee you that.
No.
100-degree heat out there.
Well, I won't be in the heat. Fuck that. I'll be sending the peasants out in the heat.
Oh, yes, I know.
See, I remember I run this place like a plantation. You know?
I could absolutely see that, my friend. I could
I
absolutely.
don't want nobody near me. You all got to get out of here. And I leave at 2:30, and you ain't allowed back till 2:35.
Well, listen, that is a nice day for you. You're back on Sunday. It's been a couple weeks off. You celebrated the big vacation, the big birthday. You got your vacation in there. Big announcement last week: the return of the band for the big gig in September.
Yeah.
So lots going on in the Jeff Tolwinski life. We see all of that.
Actually, there may be one other announcement. Let me just see real quick.
Really big news.
Pertaining to that, there is. Let me see if it's here. No, nothing yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
Well, we wait with bated breath for the big announcement, for additional announcements for that show, and lots. Of course, we talked about last week the big reunion of, so to speak. I'm not sure how it's classified by the die-hard Pantera fans, but as you guys know by now, Pantera will be hitting the streets and playing in the shows. Two original members, of course, with Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown. Joining them will be the one and only Zakk Wylde and Charlie Benanti, he of the drumming of Anthrax. So not Jeff's favorite topic in the whole world. We all know that.
Because it's not right, man. It's not right. This didn't happen when Vinnie Paul was alive, and now, Phil needs crack money, and Rex, who looks like he smokes crack, but so allegedly doesn't, is now pushing a signature bass, and now all of a sudden Pantera is going on a reunion, and then they're going out under the name Pantera too.
Yes, they are. I didn't see that any. To me, it's a waste of time if they weren't. Not that you're probably getting anybody else to show up anyway. But if you're going to go out with the other two guys and you're going out playing Pantera songs, you got to call it Pantera. Otherwise, it's really kind of a waste of time.
Well, no, you don't call it Pantera. That's like taking Alex Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen out of Van Halen and replacing them with like Joe Satriani and Lars Ulrich and still calling it Van Halen. It's not.
I agree with you.
The Abbott brothers, Dimebag and Vinny, are the ones that came up with the name Pantera, I believe. This should not be going out underneath the name Pantera. And hopefully one of their estates will stop it.
From what I saw, I don't know which wife it was, but one of the wives gave it a blessing. Now, I didn't see which wife. Huh?
That's Dime's woman.
Okay.
Rita Haney.
I knew somebody gave it a blessing. I don't know about Vinny's.
She's not even in the fucking band. What kind of blessing could she possibly be given?
I don't know, but interesting. I don't know the answer to that, Jeff. One thing I found out this week, I knew that. I'm going to get off topic a little bit because it came up on my screen, and I want to just bring it. I want to broach it with you. I knew that Eddie Van Halen had written a song with either Tony or the band for an album, but there seems to be this Tony Martin hopes that Eddie Van Halen's writing session with Black Sabbath will be included in the upcoming box set. I'm not totally familiar with the song he wrote or with them or was involved in. But what's your thoughts on, huh?
I have no idea either.
Yes, Eddie Van Halen wrote a song with Black Sabbath for one of their albums.
Well, I'd like to know the time frame on that to see who was in the band at the time.
Well, I'm going to guess it's with Tony Martin. It's the time frame with Tony Martin.
Then it means nothing.
It's to me, it's still anytime. See, I love the crossover shit. See, anytime you get like Eddie Van Halen playing on an album with somebody, or you find out so and so's played with so and so. To me, I think that's cool. I don't know if I saw any bands of that, but if Eddie Van Halen popped up and they wrote 4 or 5 songs together, one of them made an album and there's 4 more songs, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it. I think that stuff's very cool.
Every time that you see Eddie Van Halen playing,
Mhm.
all right, you always see him. What is he doing when he's playing?
He's riffing.
Oh, he's riffing. He's smiling. He's happy. He's joking around. You can't be like that and play with Black Sabbath. These guys, they came out on the one side of the stage, their spot in the stage. They stood there and they just fucking laid down the heaviest doom shit ever, because that's what their music is. And I don't know if I want to hear Van Halen mixed in with them. How's it going to sound?
I believe he's on the song. He plays the solo on the song "Evil Eye." You're familiar with this song?
No. That's if it's a Tony Martin song.
It's a Tony Martin song.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not even have been released.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I believe it was released. Just trying to go through I'm trying to go through it and see where.
Album is it off of?
It's not saying that. Here's what it says. When we were doing Cross Purposes, we were playing in Birmingham, and I was in with to see him. We were rehearsing. You ought to come down to rehearsal, blah, blah, blah. I will pick you up at the hotel. Let's go get a guitar. We went down to the music shop. Can you lend us a guitar for Eddie? And, of course, they went, oh, yeah, why? So Eddie came in with me, and we got one of his guitars, his own model, and he came to rehearsal. We played some Sabbath stuff for him. One of his favorites was Into the Void, strangely enough. We played that, and we went back to writing. I think it was Evil Eye, and I said, go on and play the solo on this. He did, and it was really great. When we recorded, of course, I tried to duplicate that, but I couldn't.
Okay, I'm looking to see if that album is around.
Again, it might not have ever been released. It says here, asked if he still has tape of Eddie's solo somewhere. Tony said, you know what, there is. I don't know where it is amongst my lot, but there is one. I got one. It's a real gem. So maybe it never got released. So,
I don't know. I can't even find that album, to be honest with you. I'm looking at iTunes now.
Yeah, Black Sabbath released 6 albums with Martin on vocals: The Eternal Idol, Headless Cross, TYR. Cross Purposes was out in 1984. Cross Purposes Live in 85. Forbidden 1995. So
I don't even see it listed here.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if it ever made it, but there is a trove of Van Halen set writing session material that is out there, and there's looks like there's an upcoming box set coming out. Black Sabbath upcoming box set. So maybe there's something in there that you want to reach out and grab, Mr. Tawinski. So
I got all their other stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. It'd have to be something pretty remarkable for me to go out and get the, all the stuff I already have.
I got you. It's a box set of something. So maybe they'll introduce a couple of, I would imagine they have to have a couple extra trinkets in there to get people to go out there and spend the money, because those box sets usually run $200 and above.
Yeah.
So, for you, me, and whatever to get that, there's got to be some trick. Now, if there's 4 or 5 Eddie Van Halen songs in a Black Sabbath set that never was released, I might have to go out there and take a listen to that, Mr. Tawinski.
You can let me know how it is.
I have to. Listen. Yeah, it's once in a lifetime stuff. But Jeff, let's kick the show off the right way, like we always do each week. Jeff, how was your week, man?
Nice. I was home.
Yes,
it was excellent.
Good for you. What's up, Michael? Mike Weissman checking in. He of the Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co., one of our proud supporters of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, and of course, hold on, I didn't play the. You know what I didn't do today? Jeff, I got to go backwards a little bit. I didn't play any of the. Yeah, there it is.
There it is, man. Hemp Wizard.
Hold on.
Good stuff.
I did not play. Hold on. One video.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
always got to kick that in. I don't know. That was a little off tonight, but I'm glad everybody's sticking around tonight. We got, I don't know what we got to talk about tonight. You know what? This is the worst week ever because there's literally nothing going on. Camps are just about to creep open.
There's plenty of stuff going on. You just didn't know where to look, and I'm there.
All right, so Jeff's going to take the lead on tonight's show. I got a couple topics. I got a couple videos I want to play. We got a guest.
Watch what you play to see where we don't get banned again in 9 countries.
We do have a special guest popping up or hopping up, as they say tonight.
Where is your father, by the way?
My dad has a meeting, a section meeting. Will not be joining us. He called me all disappointed. He wanted to know if we were going to fire him for missing another show. I said, "No, pops, you can't be fired from your own show. You're the man." So
you gotta turn your volume up.
Okay, I'll try. Hold on. How's that? Any better?
A little slightly.
How's that? Better?
Slightly. That's better, yeah.
Okay, so I got my main was down. As I've been playing my guitar through the mixer for my musician app. And I kind of screws around with my board sometimes. So I gotta remember to put it back together.
Why don't you get yourself a little Bluetooth speaker or something to play it through? No.
Well, you could play it through the amp. I could play it through the amp. There's a million ways to do it, but what happens is musician as you're playing, so it's kind of like a tablet should come to life. So you play along with it, and it recognizes whether you're picking up each string, each note, and if you make a mistake, it lets you know you made a mistake, and then it grades you at the end. Sometimes you have to go back and restart and replay it till you get it right. It's very, very cool app. But if either you got to do it with an acoustic guitar, or you got to run it straight through to your computer, because the ambient sound throws it off. So. I run it through my board and it works great, but I kind of mess up the settings on my board sometimes. So,
that's
very, very, very cool app. I have a lot of fun with it. I would say that if anybody's looking to learn to play guitar or want to get a little better, it's a really cool app. Very reasonable, and you can play bass guitar. You can play bass or guitar.
Why do you bring in a bass for?
Just tell everybody, I'm doing a little thing here. You can do drums.
I know, but I'm
singing.
kind of picking up like you're trying to direct it towards me.
Now, you, my friend, are professional. You need
not a professional, man. I have a full-time job.
Absolutely right. So
when you said something about getting better, though, I don't know.
That would be me.
I feel as though you were directing that at me, man.
No, my friend, I would never do
that. My bow.
Nah, it's not even close.
You know what? Before I forgot to tell you earlier.
Go ahead.
Daniel Jones sucks.
It's okay. You can say anything you want. It's days away. Next Thursday, the camp kicks off. I think the Giant camp actually opened. I think some of the rookies are in camp right now. You could just smell the victories. All right, I smell them.
Oh God, there we go.
And we got throwback uniforms pumped for the throwbacks. 2 games of throwbacks. I'm already ready to purchase my throwback unis. Daniel Jones in the throwback uniform. Looking forward to that. And
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
That you are not buying a Daniel Jones throwback jersey simply because you don't want to throw the money away.
I will buy a Daniel Jones throwback jersey.
You're going to get somebody else. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you because in a couple months, Jones isn't even going to be an afterthought.
The only reason I would not buy a Daniel Jones is because I don't like single numbers. I'm not a big fan of single numbers.
I noticed you got a quick excuse there.
That's no quick excuse. All the jerseys I've ever bought in my entire life are double numbers. Most of them are in the 20s and 40s. So I am not one to buy a single number jersey. It just
I got to be honest.
I don't have the body type for it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. Yeah.
But
something about the single number jerseys, they just
it's
not
just,
football.
Yeah, it's just not. It's like it's almost like all right, you're a kicker. I
kicker or punter.
Yeah, it's just
or second string quarterback.
But camps are open. We'll be doing our very own NFL training camp show next Thursday night. So be on the lookout. Jeff and I will be breaking down the NFL, big news stories. How about this week, Jeff? I'll just start. Tonight's gonna be one of those. I'm throwing topics out. So Deshaun Watson's people have already let the NFL know they're ready to go to court and sue. And I've seen some preliminary talk. Now I don't know how long it takes for this woman to make the decision on the penalty. They've gone through the whole court, or whatever it is. Everybody's giving their piece on this, and it sounds like it's going to be under 10 games, which I think is a travesty if Deshaun Watson winds up with under 10 games, because he'll wind up appealing. They'll knock a few more off. This guy can wind up with 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But you want to know something? First of all, let's look at what facts are facts. Whoa, that was close.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost made a bingo marker. We got to make what's facts are facts. Fact number 1.
Yep.
Nothing was found in the court of law. That's one thing.
Very true.
Okay? Fact number 2, cases were settled out of court. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that does look bad. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say, yeah, that does look bad.
Hold on.
Okay.
Now, I firmly believe that, where there's smoke, there's fire with that many cases that were settled out of court. But these are people that were hell-bent on doing whatever it took to fucking, screw this guy. And then all of a sudden they take the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would think that you have to look at that in 2 ways and just say to yourself, well, like, why were they so willing? First of all, if they were so willing to go through all of what they did to get to the point where they are now, why in God's name would they turn around and just turn around and they drop it and just like, okay, yeah, we'll take the money. And how much money did these people get? Did their lawyer turn around and tell them, say, listen, if he gives you $1 million, take $1 million? You know what? You know that he didn't give away $1 million. That didn't happen.
$1 million each or $1 million total?
Oh, it definitely totaled. The money he gave away definitely totaled more than $1 million.
Yeah, I would agree.
But these people didn't get $1 million each.
I would doubt it. I would imagine this was a couple $100,000 a person type of thing.
I don't even know if they're going to get that much, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like maybe their lawyer turns around and says, let's just say I put in a lawsuit against you.
Right.
Okay. Of that nature. And I was like, well, Tommy's been busting balls for years. Well, fuck him. Now I'm going to make his life horrible.
Right.
Okay. Now it's getting to the point where, you're in the midst of your career. You already lost a year. All right. So you know what? I'm going to pay this guy to go away because he's not leaving me alone. I'll pay the money, get him the fuck out of my hair. I come back. So I miss, maybe they already knew going into this what was going to happen. You don't know.
No.
And will the NFL do a follow-up, their own follow-up, and hit him with a suspension? Because this is an independent woman, an independent person, right?
Well, here's the thing. So nowadays in the collective bargaining agreement, it used to be Goodell was the guy, and then I think he had a guy that will look at. Now they've settled on this woman's kind of an ex-judge, or maybe she's still a judge. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's an ex-judge or something. Yeah.
So she is supposed to recommend the punishment. At that point, that's the independent. Now from that point, it goes to Goodell. He can either uphold it, change it, throw it out, or do anything he wants with it, which really makes no sense to me, because then why have the woman doing it?
Well,
so
suppose the woman turned around and said, yeah, 2 games is sufficient. I don't see evidence that this guy had something to do with this. Now you turn around, more women nowadays are getting involved in front offices and on the sidelines of football teams.
Absolutely.
So you have to do something. Something has to be done.
Yeah.
And 10 games. I don't know, man. That's not much.
I agree. I'm sorry. I agree with you on 90% of what you said. I do disagree that while I agree that there is no he could not be convicted in court. I think it's the he said she thing. There's not a he said she said. There's not enough physical evidence. Maybe there wasn't enough, enough to go to court. And I get that part of it. But when you got 30 women, I've read more than one article where it said that there was up to 30 women who've come forward, and then don't forget, there's still 4 who are proceeding with the case to civil court. There's still 4 women who are going through to take him to court and get money out of his ass.
Yeah, but you know what, Tom? Maybe these 4 women
that
are actually may end up in court. Okay. The other, let's look at the other 24 women. It is.
Well, let's say we know for sure there's 24 total. So let's say it's the other 20.
All right. So let's say there's 20. These could have been people that just turned around and contacted this lawyer and be like, listen, I gave him a massage in 2018, and he patted my ass, or his hand grazed my breast as I was walking past.
Oh,
and said,
100%.
I want to get in on this.
100%.
So now, if for Deshaun Watson, it doesn't matter because a number is a number, and once you get into the numbers that allegedly that he's involved with,
Yep.
does it make a difference if it's 24 or 25? Really?
No.
I don't see much of a difference there.
No.
So that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, for Deshaun Watson and his wallet, it may have just come down to the point where it's like, you know what, just fucking give them $100,000 each and just get them out of my head.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that's what happened. That
Because
way,
now the lawyer that's representing the four, this might make their case more credible.
sure, it has to. Absolutely. Why did you settle if you weren't guilty?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it's all bad, and I think the NFL's damned if they do, damned if they don't. Listen, they don't want to suspend the guy for a year. They don't want to suspend him at all, but they know they have to do something. It's the question becomes where's the fine line of you satisfy the people who are going to scream and shout, and then how do you keep the best product on the field? To be honest with you, I think, Jeff, to be honest with you, I think 99.9% of the people out there, women or otherwise, don't really care what happens with Deshaun Watson. To be honest with you, I think most people are tired of hearing it by now. Most people are tired of seeing it by now, and they really don't care what he gets. I think the NFL, in their wokeness, has to do something. But we'll see. I think he gets. I'm still going to hold the hope that he's going to get a year and have to sit it out. And I like the way they talked about it, Jeff. Originally, they said it's going to be indefinite. And I think that's the way it should be. It's an indefinite suspension. Come at the end when the season's over, you can apply for reinstatement, and we'll make a decision. I think that's the right way to handle it.
Listen, indefinite means nothing, Tom. It means nothing. Just look at Josh Gordon. The guy was suspended definitely how many times?
100%.
We'll never know for sure exactly what it was, but we know that it was for violating substance and alcohol issues. So
100%.
we just don't know exactly what.
Yeah.
But yet the guy comes and goes whenever he feels like it. I feel like playing. I'm no good. I feel like playing.
I agree. No, I'm with you.
So, but here's the thing with Deshaun Watson. Everything, even sports, is starting to pass us up. And things are a lot different than they were 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago.
Okay.
So you get a quarterback now that misses some time. This could be fucking huge because everything is changing. There's different stats every time you turn around. You could play this game. Yes, it's a great game to watch on the field, a regulation field.
Yeah.
But they have all these different variations now. You have the CFL, which has been here for years. The XFL is coming back. The USFL is coming back. You have certain arena football games and stuff like that. The NFL is the granddaddy of them all, but the game is changing. And if you're a player in today's game, you want to be there for as much as possible because you may be missing out on a lot of different things.
Yeah, but now let me ask you this question: so now let's get into the nitty gritty, Jeff. We're a week away from camp starting up. Next week, camp is in full bloom. Everybody's showing up. Deshaun Watson theoretically is showing up to camp next week, right?
And he very well should.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: so if you're the Browns, you have to figure you're going to lose him for a handful of games, whether it's 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 17. They're going to lose him for some games, right? We would both agree that at some he's going to be out.
Oh, yeah.
So he hasn't played football really in a full season. Now he's going to miss, let's say he misses half a season. He's going to miss 8 games. So if you're the Browns, do you give him the lion's share of opportunities in camp? Or are you really pushing Jacoby Brissett because he's going to be your guy? I mean, how did the Browns handle training camp, Jeff?
Good question, Tom, because what do? You know that Deshaun Watson is going to miss some time.
Right.
And he hasn't played in a while, but I would think that during training camp, you got a rock and a hard place. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is not going to get mixed up with Josh Allen,
No.
And then did you see that they went after a couple quarterbacks today?
No, I didn't see it. Who they go after today?
Rosen
Really?
and McCarron.
Oh, AJ
the
McCarron. Yeah.
Bengals?
Yeah. AJ McCarron, the backup, the former Alabama guy. Yeah.
So they're already interviewing other quarterbacks.
Yeah, and there was a rumor running around that Jimmy Garoppolo could be headed there for a season,
Yeah.
which really doesn't make any sense to me. If you're Jimmy Garoppolo, the last place you want to go is there. Not that you can't win there or anything like that, but at some point you're going to be fighting for a spot with Brissett, who's listen, you said he ain't Josh Allen, but he's not a terrible quarterback. And eventually Deshaun Watson's coming back, and if he does, he's playing quarterback. So that's an interesting situation. Week out of camp, and if you're the Browns, how do you go? Do you get Deshaun Watson as much work as you can, and then Brissett goes into camp playing? Goes into the season with nothing but playing with second stringers. I mean, that's a tough spot if you're the Browns.
I don't know. I mean, I got a feeling that the Browns are going to know within this week coming up. I mean, they almost have to.
I agree.
They have to know because you're screwing an entire franchise. I mean, bad enough they're going to be. Well, you can't even say bad enough they're going to be screwed. Their projected number one quarterback is going to be serving a punishment more than likely. Whether it's 5 games, 10 games, whatever, however many games isn't important, but you're going to miss him for a bulk of the season.
Sure.
And maybe that's where you get your foot in the door in the playoffs, and he's not there. But you need to know you need to get the best option. If they're knocking on the door of Rosen, and McCarron, and they have Brissett, they know that they have problems.
I would imagine now. Maybe, are they getting fed intel from the NFL, and the NFL's telling them that this is going to be lengthy? They're trying to bring in because let's be honest with you. Jacoby Brissett is at best a second-level quarterback, at best, right? Now, the guys you're talking about aren't even second-level guys. You're talking about third and fourth-level guys, probably.
Yeah, hold on. I'm asking my wife if my soda's in there. I feel as though that they need to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? They're not going to get somebody. Is Jacoby Brissett that bad? Yes.
Yeah.
But if you need him to come in and do mop-up duty in a game, he's passable.
Sure.
But you're not going to turn around and look to have him lead the charge for 10 weeks.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Not going to happen.
Now, I don't feel bad for the Browns in this, Jeff. I got to be honest with you. Now, I think they deserve to know what the situation is, but they bought into this knowing that this could possibly happen. So I'm not buying. I'm not gonna feel bad for the Browns in this whole situation. If they get screwed and he's out for the season, or they wait till the last minute and they find out, that's on them. They bought into this. They gave him the ridiculous contract. So I don't feel bad for the Browns in the slightest bit.
Yeah, I find it hard to feel bad for them knowing that this wasn't content. Listen, you want to better your team. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with you bettering your team. What I have a problem with is that you did not know what was happening with this player, and you took it upon yourself to trade away God knows how much of your future.
Yeah.
And to get this guy, and you didn't know what was going to happen. So even if he misses 10 weeks, you got to consider yourself lucky, because suppose they turn around and let's say that women all over the place are protesting. And let's say that women within the organization are protesting.
Yeah. Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And then you have a huge fucking problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Again, I haven't seen much in the way of public outcry on this, but I guess
I haven't seen any.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Maybe the NFL's gauging that to see what the outcome's going to be. I think a lot of it's going to be.
Thank you.
I think a lot of it's going to be. It's going to be depending on what the backlash is for the announcement. If it comes out and she gives them 8 games and there's no public outcry, they may just leave it alone or knock it down a game or two very quietly. If they
First of all, Deshaun Watson's not going to take it quietly, because the guy actually thinks whatever it is that he thinks that he's innocent, or he's going to be proven innocent. He's not going to take 8 games lying down. I'm just surprised that more women aren't out there saying, like, how are you going to let this guy play?
I agree.
all of these repeat offenders in the NFL, and I'm going to single out Josh Gordon,
Okay.
Who seems to get busted once a year where he's doing great, he's doing it great. He's going to come back, he's going to reapply. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
Yes.
The guy gets busted with doing God knows what. They never said what it is he was doing, whether it was drinking, drugs, pills, coke, whatever, weed. They never said.
Right.
And the guy's stupid enough to keep going back to it, gets busted after he does good for God knows how long to come back, passes all the tests, he needs time off. Like, so why is the guy playing? And if that's the case, then why not just, okay, who owns his rights now? Oh, his rights that he has, the Miami Dolphins have his rights. Okay. Reinstate him the fucking AFC Championship game. Yeah. And then tell him, say, listen, for the next 14 days, if we win, the next 14 days, there's going to be somebody with you. You're practically going to be handcuffed. The only time you're going to be out of somebody's sight is to take a shower and take a shit. That's it.
Yeah.
And you're checking the bathroom before you go in there. And that's this, but they will always like just let it happen.
Yeah.
And all of these guys, no matter what they do, I'm waiting to see when the guy from the kid from the Raiders, does he apply for reinstatement once his case is over? If he let's say he does 2 years in prison.
Yeah.
For involuntary manslaughter. Does he actually get the chance to come back and play?
I would say the answer is going to be yes. If the answer is going to be the guy served his time. I think he'd have little to no chance if he got off from it. I think they would be shying away from him. But I think if he goes to jail in 2 years and comes back and he could still play, yeah, he'll be on a roster someplace. Absolutely. 100%. No doubt in my mind.
He cooked. Cooked a woman and her dog alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Cooked them alive. And if he comes back, no matter what happens, if he comes back, that's a tragedy. Deshaun Watson fucking throwing his Schweiker around like it's a football on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes you got to throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it sticks. If it don't, it don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like he just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So you know what? You almost have to pat him on the back and just say, you know what? Here's a man that knew what he wants, and he's just not going to let anything get in the way of it. And it doesn't matter. This woman is here to give him a massage, And if they're all working, imagine if they all work for the same company too. And they came in and it'll be like, I went and did that guy on the Texans, the quarterback.
Yeah.
He squeezed my ass. You're lucky. He pulled his cock out in front of me. I had to massage that too. It's amazing at some of the stuff that actually happens.
Sure. Listen, no doubt. And it's going to be interesting a week away. And again, a week away from our NFL training camp show next Thursday. So make sure you join us. I'm sure we'll be discussing this further. And implications. Listen, it's got implications on the Browns. Jeff, this has also turned the Carolina Panthers into a bit of a mess, if you're asking me. They drafted a quarterback in this year's draft, Matt Corral. I think the kid out of Ole Miss. And then, of course, Sam Darnold somehow managed to stay on this roster, being paid $20-something million. And then they wound up trading for Baker Mayfield. They got him for a steal, as far as I'm concerned. Cleveland's paying part of the salary. They got a couple. They gave up very little draft picks to get him. But now you got the future quarterback on the bench and two quarterbacks who went first and third a couple years ago in the draft. And which way do they go? I mean, Baker's only had a couple weeks in the playbook. That quarterback situation, while not a great team, they have a very good defense. A decent quarterback, and that team can make a run in that division.
I think Mayfield is probably the best quarterback right now at this time on that team.
Oh, I would agree with that.
And I'm glad you brought them up because I'm going to transition from one thing to another when we're done talking about them. I think that the best thing that can happen for Mayfield is that he gets the chance to get out of Cleveland after what Cleveland did. Right. Cleveland went blind for a while and just immediately just took whoever they had to take. I don't understand how they did that to themselves. I really don't.
Yeah.
And with that, you still have Mayfield on the fucking sidelines. It's just mind-boggling that they do it. Carolina, didn't show much more in the brains department after picking up the 5th-year option for Donald.
Yeah.
And then you got this fucking guy on your team that, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And back to Cleveland real quick. You wait this late in the process. If I'm trading a guy like Mayfield and I know that I'm going to get Deshaun Watson, okay, and I know I'm getting Deshaun Watson, it's now March and I'm going to get Deshaun Watson, I'm just going to turn around. I'm going to say, listen, I got Mayfield on the block. What's
yeah.
What can we do here? Let's see. Let's take trade offers. Okay. Matter of fact, I would have done it even sooner. And even if you had to pay part of his salary, which they do have to pay part of his salary,
I would say so. Yeah.
You got to do it this year. We do it before the draft, not after the draft. When you're a team that's on the bubble, any pick is a feather in your cap. You got to take it.
100%.
You can't just let this guy, wait till after the draft and then trade him for nothing. And I'm not saying they traded him for nothing, but
it was next to nothing.
The same, why you got to wait a year to get your pick?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't understand the waiting around to trade him. Everybody knew he had to go. I mean, at the end of last season, everybody knew he had to go. You trade for Deshaun Watson, you give him a fully guaranteed contract. You couldn't possibly think that he was going to be the quarterback for the season this year if Deshaun Watson got suspended for the entire year. So I didn't understand how they didn't trade him during the draft, before the draft even got here. To me, that minimized every, the haul you could get, because now guys are drafting quarterbacks, people are making trades, who's signing people. It was a dumb move by the Browns. It just shows how bad that franchise is still.
How bad it's run.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, very badly run, sure.
It just makes no sense to me. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. But guys, Hard Rock Sports, Jeff and Tom here every Thursday nights, 7 to 9:30. Glad to have you aboard. And as we kick off our happy anniversary week, I'll be playing some stuff during the week, kind of a memorial to our 8 years on the air. Hopefully we have B. Brian Blair and Mark Scott so far lined up for next Thursday night. And I'm working on some others. So make sure you tune in next week when we celebrate our anniversary. And of course, we kick off with our NFL training camp show, which we have done every year. In fact, that was the first ever show I ever did. July 31st, 2014 was the NFL training camp show. So we'll celebrate it next week. Jeff and I are having some fun. But Jeff, you want to transition to something else?
Yeah. When we talked about the Carolina Panthers,
yep.
Our buddy John Maheka was busy this week sending us updates on who's changing uniforms.
Yes.
I need to talk about that.
Okay.
And I don't like the idea of it. And this is what I'm thinking. Okay.
Okay.
Home uniform, away uniform, and one alternate.
Okay.
One alternate. Now, that one alternate either be a color rush, old-time jerseys, throwbacks, whatever you want to call them. Okay? I just don't like the idea if what the Russell Wilson is the wow. I don't know about a hot wife. I think she's a transsexual, to be honest with you. Sierra, that is.
Oh.
Your boy Frank.
Okay.
Well, anyway, and he can weigh in on this while he's here. I think that you're pressing the fans into buying all of this stuff, whether it's hats, jerseys, uniforms, whatever. And I just don't dig it. I think that they should, and I also like the NFL's rule that they need 2 years or whatever to change uniforms, or they got to notify them within 2 years or whatever it is. The team should be allowed to do what they want to do when they want to do it. But I think that they should give them 3 uniforms and helmets, if any, or 2 helmets. One is an away, home, away, and then the third, whether it's an alternate or whatever. If you remember when the Rangers, the New York Rangers, were using their alternate jerseys, the one with the Statue of Liberty on them.
Yes.
I don't know if they still use that jersey or not.
I didn't see it at all this year, but I missed a lot of Ranger games because Comcast doesn't carry MSG anymore. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if they do that as much as they used to do in the NHL. I didn't see a lot of that
Well, the
Sean,
NHL, they have so many different jerseys. I wouldn't know who half the teams even were at this point in time. They changed the jerseys so much.
yeah, I want to talk about the All-Star Game uniforms. We'll get to that in a little while, but
Yeah, we'll go on. I want to tie that in too.
I certainly agree with you, Jeff. I don't like it. I like teams when they play with their regular jersey, regular uniforms, let's call it, and then every once in a while you let them pound in there with a with an alternate jersey or an away jersey. I mean, listen, growing up, you used to be able, you wore your whites or your blues or your color uniform, home and away. And if you want to have an alternate uniform, you can use once in a while. This year the NFL's allowing. They got 2 games. I think they're called the legacy games, and teams are using. I'm going to show you a video in a minute about the Giants announcing their legacy.
Whatever it is that they're using is not that important to me. Okay, but if you want to let them use different jerseys, that's fine. You make it for the Thursday night games,
right,
or Sunday night games, or something like that. All right, and then what you do is that's the night that they use the jerseys so that everybody could see them. Put them on prime time. Yes, I remember the Pirates in the 80s and the different combinations they had. There were black uniforms, yellow uniforms, gray uniforms. They had some combinations. I remember that. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
But with the NFL and what they're doing now, it's just, to me, it's a total money grab. And if you have young kids that want to collect jerseys and everything else, and you're a parent, you're gonna, Junior, how much are you going to afford this, bro? They're
not cheap.
The worst thing you can ever hear is that your kid's a fan of Oregon, and Christmas is coming and they want a couple jerseys. You'd be like, no, you're not getting it.
Well, in Jeff's honor, let's play the video from the Giants announcement. I think it's a pretty cool one, and to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So stand by. Let's play this video for everybody to watch.
Welcome to Giants Stadium.
Legacy really is timeless.
Touchdown, Giants! Get out! Get out!
It's generational.
I'm back! Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
The pride. The passion.
Super Bowl champion.
And it's all coming together.
This is for you, homeboy.
Ah!
Man, I can't wait.
Now that was a nice video. I thought that was well done by the Giants. I thought.
Let me ask you something. Was Taylor making a crack run?
Oh my God!
During that, and did he owe money to Barkley, but couldn't pay him off, and so he just gave him an old jersey?
Listen, you're gonna have to carry this for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes. I got to do something. I'll be right back. You got to hang in there. You're gonna have to carry this for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Well, Tommy's going, so let's make fun of the Giants, and I'll do it with you, Frank. What jerseys are sharp? Those Giant jerseys? I don't like those Giant jerseys. The Giants are a team that they need to revamp their jerseys. Their helmet is boring. Their colors are bland. I'd like to see the Giants do something different with their jerseys. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the Jet jersey either. I think the Jets should change their colors completely. What the fuck? Jet is green. That makes no sense to me that they're using green. I would love to see the Giants. You want to keep the blue, but update everything about it. Do something make the face mask blue, something. Do something with it. They got to update it. I'm not a big fan of it, and I do not like them reaching back for these throwback uniforms for the Giants. The Jets, I would like to see them do something with a more black, maybe black and red. No, Leon Hess. They were wearing green way back in the 60s. They were wearing green. He didn't own them back then. And they were the Titans at first. Those uniforms were actually worse. They look like fucking Notre Dame. I'd like to see them do something different with the uniforms. New York, you think that they would have some of the nicer uniforms, maybe something with the skyline on the helmet or something, anything, something with Jersey. Leon Hess owned them, not back in the 60s, but he owned the Jets at one time. He sold them to the guys that have them now. Well, who's that? The Johnson brothers, or just Johnson, whatever his name is. Can't remember his first name. But Leon Hess was the Jets owner at one point in time. Then he was getting too old, and then he ended up selling the Jets. I don't know how Tommy did this by himself. But I guess we just wait for him to come back now. You got anything else, Frank? Or is it so bad you left too? This is not good. Our numbers are going to be dipping in Israel this week now because of this. No, listen, that's okay. I don't blame you. I know somebody else that voice text. When they send messages, they're about this long each. I don't even read half the shit they say. At least that's manageable. But I remember that game, and the Jets were down. What were they? They were down 10-0 or at halftime, and then they just fell apart in the second half of that game and got blown out. They're just destined to never, ever, ever do anything good. Never. Just not.
Sorry, I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. A little business to take care of.
You all right?
Yeah. Just another day, and another dollar. All good. So let's get all right. So listen, back to uniform. I don't know if you've moved on from uniforms or not.
No. You know why? As soon as you left, there was like nothing else to do.
Okay.
And then me and Frank were talking back and forth, and you could see a couple of his text messages took some time, and we were slow going between us.
Yeah.
Seems like you're the catalyst of conversation.
Yeah, I'll listen. That's my job. We keep it going here. But as far as the uniforms go, Jeff, for me, here's the thing. I'm old school. I don't like a lot of these uniforms nowadays. I have to be honest with you. Like,
well, I don't see the point of the color rush uniforms.
The worst, absolute worst.
I would rather see the old time uniforms, especially on like a Sunday night game or a Monday night game, or like one of the night games. Put on the old uniforms. Let everybody get a chance to get.
I agree with that.
And then they say where they could play them at the night games. That's fine with me.
I loved it when the Jets brought back the old uniforms. I still think those are one of the best uniforms of all time.
Which ones?
The ones before this one, the white helmet with the green.
No, come on, man.
Oh,
that's
the
so
best.
bland, bro.
Oh, I love that. The old Buffalo Bill uniforms, the old Dolphin uniforms, stuff like. I like those old uniforms, and I like the fact that there's some teams that still hanging on to them. But yeah, you're right. The color rush, they got to go. I don't like all these alternates. I think you should have a game or two a year. You could do that, and that's what they're doing. I like the idea the Giants are bringing back the 1980s, 90s uniforms. While I'll be honest with you, while they were around and when the Giants made the move to the new ones, I was much, much happier. I don't like those, but for a couple of games, I think it's fun. I do. I think it's fun. But
I will say this. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because this is I want you to wrap this up so we can go to the next something else that you.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that it's a money grab, and we all know it's a money grab. But it's nice to see it on the field for a game or two. It is nice to see. It's fun, but here's the thing: you can't have the Giants' 80s uniforms versus the Carolina Panthers' new uniforms. It doesn't work. if you're going to do it, that game should be a legacy game. Now, listen, there's some teams who don't have a legacy.
The Carolina Panthers never changed from their original uniforms. Really, they're very little.
That's the point I was going to make.
You know what I mean? So, like, if they use their new uniforms, that doesn't bother me. That should be up to the team. They should turn around and tell them you can use an alternate uniforms on the night games.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Whatever uniform you choose to use is your business.
Yeah, I think if you're good, if one team's going to do it like this, the Giants, the second game, I forget who the first one is against, but the second Giant legacy game is against the Washington Communists. So to me, the Giants with their 80s uniforms can't play the Washington Commanders. They got to play the Washington Redskins in the full Redskin uniform. Otherwise, now if you're the Washington Commanders, are you allowed to use the Washington Redskin uniforms in a legacy game?
Oh man, I hope so.
Me too. I hope so too. But you know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to be now? The Washington Commanders cannot go back and use a throwback uniform.
I have no idea.
I think that's a good question.
It's an extremely good question.
Yeah.
I myself have to run out real quick.
Good.
To the next room, and then I'm going to transition. I got something for you of what you said. I'm going to start touching base on, but I'll be right back.
You got it. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tommy on Thursday night. Hey, guys, again, 1 week from our 8th anniversary show. Hope you guys come back next week. B. Brian Blair, wrestler from the 80s, and, of course, our good buddy Mark Scott so far, joining Jeff and I. We do our NFL training camp show next Thursday night, 7 o'clock, celebrating 550 episodes of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. That's right, 550 episodes of the Hard Rocket Sports Show. We're going to celebrate that next week right here on the air. And we hope you guys come on back and have that with me too. Yes, Frankie, it is. It totally is. If that's your legacy, whether it's good or bad, that is your franchise's legacy. You have to be able to celebrate that because there's a lot of great history with the Washington Redskins. Listen, I hate the Redskins. I think they're the worst. They were the worst uniforms. Probably still are the worst uniforms in the league. Those Ronald McDonald colors. But that's the Washington Redskins, and they've been around this league for a long time. They won 3 Super Bowls. They got a bunch of people in the Hall of Fame. You know, they played some of the biggest games of all time. And, I'm curious to see if they play them very much on NFL Network anymore, those old games with the Redskins. I haven't seen any. And I'm curious to see if they're going to be allowed to do throwback uniforms with the Washington Redskins. I think that's an interesting take. So we'll the helmet was a cool helmet. I agree with you on that, Frank. I can't argue that one. The helmet logo was nice. Jeff's got it in his house someplace. Maybe it's close by. Jeff, you got the
Yeah, I got it buried. I always got it in my props.
There it is. That is a cool. I agree with you, Frankie. That's a cool helmet.
It's iconic.
It's yes. I would say yes. And again, that would be hypocritical of anybody, and I think the wokeness mob would win again if they weren't allowed to don those uniforms twice a year and celebrate their past. And I'm sorry, whether you the leftist or woke or pinko communists are happy with it. To me, I would like to see I would love to see a Giant game against the Washington Redskins again in full 80s uniforms. I think would be great.
See this here?
God.
That is the date that this was packaged.
Okay.
This was packaged in April of 2013.
Really?
Yeah. So nobody has touched this helmet in almost 10 years. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I want to take it out of the box.
Will you try to wear it?
I don't think so. Maybe I'll put it on my Schweiker.
Maybe on the Schweiker.
Yeah, there you go.
Come out the wife with the Washington Redskin on the Schweiker.
There you go. But this is what I wanted to go through because you made mention of it.
Go ahead.
Okay. And this is something that kind of got me. But the All-Star uniforms.
Oh.
I saw the All-Star uniforms. And you want to know something?
Go ahead.
I liked them.
Oh, come on.
But wait, hear me out. You're not hearing me out, man.
Go ahead.
I liked them.
Yeah.
But then I didn't like them.
Go ahead.
And I liked them because of what they look like. I saw the dark gray with New York on the front for the American League. I didn't see what the other team looked like. But correct me if I'm wrong. I remember years ago that these guys used to wear their own team uniforms.
Yes. Yes.
And this here looks to me almost like a we're not going to go to YouTube jail now, are we?
I don't know. We'll find out. At this point, I don't care, but it's bringing up the point. I mean, but look at those. I mean, that is a horrendous uniform.
No, I like it, Tom.
No volume. Hold on. I'm going to play it so we can probably see it a little better up close. Hold on. Now, that's a monster home run. That's a monster home run for Jugga. But, yeah, I don't know why they don't let these guys wear. That's horrendous, Jeff. I'm sorry. That's horrendous.
Tom, it's an exhibition game uniform, which I think they're spending too much money on anyway, as it is.
No, I'm with you on all of that. I am. I think the All-Star game has lost its luster. Listen, once interleague play came in, thank you, Frank. I agree with that.
What were do you have a picture of the American League uniforms?
That was the American League uniform.
Oh, the American League uniform? I thought those were pretty cool with that color gray.
Oh, I hate that. I don't want the color. I don't want that. The National League one wasn't bad. It's like a white. It wasn't terrible. To me, the guys should be able to walk in the door wearing their team uniform with an all-star cap.
No.
That's the way it should be.
No.
Absolutely.
What they should do is they should wear an old throwback uniform. Okay. From when they used to tuck the pants in the socks, and the pants used to be baggy, hanging out of the socks the way they should look like baseball players, not like fucking basketball players getting ready to go to a shoot around. Okay, that's how I would like to see them play. I would like to see them play in the old woolen look uniforms from back in the fucking 40s and 50s. That's what I would want to see. And I think that's what's missing out of baseball. They modernize baseball too much, and it's a game that should not be modernized.
I agree with you. Baseball's all about tradition.
They should bring back as much of the old. When you think of baseball, right, the last couple of days have been brutal, the temperature.
Yes.
Absolutely fucking brutal. Tell me you're not thinking of a doubleheader somewhere where the fucking sun is like baking these people all day long, like it was in the 40s and 50s. And you know what I mean?
Sure.
Not that I want to sit through it, but that's kind of like what baseball reminds me.
Everybody's sitting outside their house because the house is 100 degrees. Nobody had air conditioning. So everybody was sitting outside trying to keep cool. Everybody's bringing drinks to somebody, and everybody's fanning themselves, or the kids are running the streets.
I'm talking about the people that were at the games.
Oh, yeah, that too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen,
I agree with you.
It has a different feel to it.
100%. And I get it that I think times change in modern times, but I agree with you. Like, listen, they're talking about, all sorts of changes next year, pitch clocks, bigger bases, also robot umpires. The game of baseball is completely different the way it's played now, the way it looks.
What bigger base is supposed to do? What are we supposed to get out of bigger
bases? Is supposed to allow guys not to get hurt. I guess that first base is a bigger base for the so they don't step on each other, bang into each other. So they're going with bigger bases, pitch clocks, which I don't mind the pitch clock, but which they've had for years anyway, just never enforced it. How long
is the pitch clock going to be?
I want to say it's 20 or 30 seconds. I think it's 24 seconds.
Baseball is basically the only sport that has no kind of clock involved.
Correct.
With the game itself. Correct. Okay. The only time that they clock a baseball game is at the end, and they say 3 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 47 minutes. Whatever the game time was.
Right.
I don't like the idea of putting game clocks within the game of baseball. I just don't like it.
Okay. I agree. But the biggest knock that baseball's got right now, and again, not for me. I watch a baseball game. I watch it because I love the nuances of the game. But the knock they get from the casual fan is that the game takes too long. And one of the things they've tried to do, they've eliminated, you don't have to pitch to a guy to automatically walk him. You don't have to. Now they want to speed up where they get the batter and the pitcher in the box at a certain point, which again I don't have a problem with. I don't know why the guys step out after every pitch. Why the pitcher's got to walk around the mound after every pitch. I don't get that anyway. But I don't like changing the game of baseball. It's the one sport that I think needs to romance its past and hang on to as many traditions as possible.
Well, you know what? certain things, yes. How about the intentional walk, like you were talking about?
Yeah.
There's no reason to throw 4 pitches to put the guy on
I
first
agree.
base.
I agree.
I think the manager or coach should be able to signal to the fucking home plate umpire.
And they do it. They do it now.
And just
Go
put him
like
on.
this, and he goes on. Yep, I agree.
Oh, but they still throw the 4 pitches though.
No, they don't. It's been if this year's the first year. I think this year, maybe last year, they no longer do that. The manager goes this, does this, and the guy walks to first base. There's no.
Oh, okay, all right. So then that's something that should have been. I just always thought that was stupid, because not for nothing, it's a pitch. So if the batter wanted to fucking be stupid and take a shot at it,
it's happened.
I know it has.
Yeah, it's happened. Sure.
I know it has, because the guy's lobbing it in there. So
Yeah,
he sees one.
Yeah.
That's one thing. As far as they're trying to teach kids the right way to play these sports. How are you going to teach kids now at a little league level if there's a clock at the major league level? You're not going to be able to institute that in little leagues. Well,
No.
not that there's many little leagues around like there once was anyway.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
True.
but they're not going to pay for that and pay for a clock at each field. That's going to be almost impossible. And now imagine explaining to a 7-year-old, well, listen, you let the 20-second clock go by and you're staring out there looking at butterflies flying around the mound, and like it's just not, you're never going to get explained to the kid what happened.
Wow. Could you imagine there's actually a World Games with the flag football gold medal game?
Yeah. Well, listen, it is what it is. I guess they said no 2-hand touch.
I guess. No, Jeff, I agree. I don't think you can do it. I don't like the idea of doing it. Well, I can't say I don't like it. I don't mind it because
What, a pitch clock?
I think it moves the game along a little bit.
Not gonna
And
move
again,
the game along.
But again, at the lower levels, nobody cares because there's no TV timeouts. The game, you go there, the kid plays an hour and a half baseball game. Who cares? When you get to the pro level, these games are getting to 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So to me,
Well, then you know what? You want to see games end. You want to see games end differently. You can make games end differently.
Okay.
Then put a clock on the game.
Well,
Put a 3 hour or 2 hour and 45-minute time limit on the game.
Mhm.
Okay. Have the clock in each dugout, and then this here way, you know what happens? The clock just goes backwards. As soon as they say play ball, the clock starts to go. Okay. Now the clock just continues to run.
Mhm.
And now you're in the 6th inning, and you're down 3-0, and here you go. You have 13 minutes left in the game, and you're like, well, we better hurry the fuck up because this game's going to end. And then this here way, once they start taking away some of these innings, they start taking away some at bats, they start taking away opportunities for pitchers to get strikeouts, and then these guys end up losing performance bonuses. Then you'll see them stop getting out of the box to adjust their gloves and everything.
It's an interesting theory. I'm with Frankie on this. I say baseball's is been played a certain way for a long time. I say leave it alone. And if you don't like the game, you don't like the game. That's the way
I agree with you. But
Yeah.
if you're going to change it, you got to change it in a way where you're going to say, like, well, listen, this is the way it is. Well, no more baseball games, unless they go into extra innings, will not go over 2 hours and 45 minutes.
It's an interesting thought. To be honest with you, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. I wouldn't vote for it, but
I do
it is
agree with you. I do agree with you. It is a game that should be, only because of the Americana part of baseball.
Yep.
The banners that used to hang from the rafters in these parks, and what it meant to be in a ball game and Memorial Day or 4th of July or Labor Day weekend with the pennant race, and what it meant at certain times of the year for certain ball teams and certain ball clubs. It's like they took it all away.
Yeah.
It's just 162 games now. And there's way too many. Take away the fucking wild card games or all the wild card teams.
Yeah.
Just give you one wild card game. That's it, man. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big traditionalist when it comes to it. So I'm of the ilk. I'm of the ilk. You just leave baseball alone. And if people don't like it, they don't like it. Don't watch it. It's not for everybody. That's all.
Look at what was the game? What was the game? The movie with Kevin Costner.
Which one? Bull Durham?
No,
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Yes, I can't remember the name of that one for my life. But let's put it this way. Let's ask it. Years ago, in the early 1900s, late 1800s, when baseball was in its infancy and it was just starting out, they didn't play in stadiums because stadiums, they didn't have them yet. But as they were playing in games where there was bleachers for people to sit on, the minor league games that are not played in stadiums, that are played in ball fields out in the Midwest and down south, that still have that real old-time feel to it. There's your chance to keep that feeling with the game still in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Football, yes, there's a lot going on with football and everything with the like video games and the things you could do with football as opposed to baseball. Nobody gives a fuck about baseball video games, and that's why part of the reason why it's lost its luster. That means that some kid can't look at his phone for 3 hours.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yankees are down 5-2, game 2 of this two-game doubleheader today with the Houston Astros. I think this is a makeup for the games lost before the season for the lockout. So the Yankees lost game 1, 3-2, and they're down 5-2 in the 5th inning here in Houston. Very weird looking picture for the Houston Astros. So as baseball wraps up from the All-Star game, the other thing, Jeff, I'm also a traditionalist, but the All-Star game, I have lost all interest in the All-Star game. If I turned it on for 30 seconds, it was a lot the other night. And then I don't know if you saw the new thing. If the All-Star game reached the 9th inning and ended in a tie, it was to be decided by a mini home run derby. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Oh, it was the worst day. Listen to me, Jeff. Does anybody care if the All-Star game ends in a tie?
No, of course not.
It's a spectacle. It's a way to get all the players out there, the fans to see all these guys on the field. It's supposed to make a fantasy game. It's lost the luster. It's no longer the same game as it was when we were kids. You get to see back then. You didn't get to see a lot of these guys play, and certainly get to see them change teams and play with other guys that you thought were great. It's a different game. I don't know, but it still got 7 million people watched it. I mean, on TV. So I guess it's 7
million people watched it, Tom, because half the country is gripped by a heat wave. They're afraid to go outside.
Yeah, and there's nothing else on. There's nothing. There's literally, unless you're a fan of the WNBA, and I dare anybody to tell me they sat back and they watch a full WNBA game, you're completely out of your mind.
Let me ask you something. As far as an All-Star game goes, let's turn around and say that what we're going to do is we're going to have 8 pitchers and 20 position players per game. I don't know how many players on each.
Normally, it's 26 players on a roster.
All right, so 26 guys on each roster in the All-Star game?
I might be more for an All-Star game. I'm not sure. There's probably a little bit more than that.
Okay. Well, whatever they come out with. But let's just say that they're going to have All-Star voting.
Right.
The fan is going to vote for the All-Stars. Okay? Whoever finishes number 1 in the American League versus whoever finishes number 2 or number 1 in the National League.
Okay.
Those guys go out to home plate the night before or the day of the home run derby beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
They do odds and evens just like we did when we were kids. And they choose their team up that way, like the NBA did it one year.
Yeah, the NBA I think they still do that, if I'm not mistaken. I know the NFL has done that the last couple of years with the Pro Bowl. They've gone to having the coaches draft their team, which again is just another shtick, But Jeff, it's not a dumb idea. It's really not a dumb idea, to be honest with you. Just to me, the idea of the All-Star game was to watch guys you didn't normally get to play, see play. Now with all
course, but I mean, because it doesn't mean much.
No,
so make it an exhibition game, a total exhibition game. Don't put anything on this game for like Mike Trout really gives a fuck who gets World Home Series advantage or home field advantage through the World Series. The guy ain't even getting into the playoffs.
Listen,
why is he going to try extra hard so that the American League gets home field advantage?
Yeah, again, unless you're going to put a lot of money up there, unless you're going to tell you, all right, guys, there's $50 million to the winning team to split, you're going to wind up coming out with a couple $1 million. I don't see these guys giving a shit about it. And
No, and I'm glad you said that, because that's even a bigger thing. When you're paying some of these guys $20-25 million a year to play a game, now their contract says, well, they get an extra $50,000 if they make it into the All-Star game.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, of course not. Yep.
They don't care. They're buying fucking watches that cost $50,000. You think they're going to care about that? You got to be kidding me.
I agree with you 100%. Again, it's a I don't know. It's a spectacle. It's an event. It ain't what it used to be. I mean, but again, most of the other All-Star games get very little attention. Baseball still got 7 million people to tune in. Again, you're right. It's a hot July night. There ain't much to watch on TV. I do want to talk about what was on after the All-Star game in a minute. But
what constitutes a viewer? If you turn around and you're flicking through the station and you leave that on for 10 seconds, that counts as a viewer?
I don't know the answer to that, Jeff. I don't know if it's judged based on length of time, just flipping by. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
And yes, Rose actually did something where he came barreling into
absolutely
home plate or something, almost destroyed the catcher.
Yeah, Ray Fosse. That's who he's talking about.
Ray Fosse.
And the funny part is that I believe the night before, Rose was at Ray Fosse's. They were very close friends. They were at dinner. Pete Rose was at his house for dinner, and then the next night went out there and basically ended Ray Fosse's career. He completely wrecked Ray Fosse's career in an All-Star game. Would you like me to find that clip? Would you like to see that?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Throw it up there.
Hold on.
We're already skating on thin ice now with you over there on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where's the half man?
I don't know. He hasn't shown him. I just texted him. He did not respond to my
motherfucker. And you're worried about his feelings.
The man said he's had some rough times here. I don't know. All right, hold on. We got to wait 15 seconds for this to pop up on the screen, Jeff. And then I will put that up for you. It's about to come up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Here's the All-Star game. I believe this is the play. Pete. That's a solid hit.
Yeah, I wonder what Ray Fosse thinks about that, man.
Yeah. Wow. Now, do you think he was trying to think he was thinking about sliding? Because you see him kind of head down early.
No, I don't think he ever thought about sliding. You know what I think he thought? What do? Do I hit this guy on my left shoulder or I hit him with my right shoulder? He's staring him down, Tom.
Yeah.
He's on the ground rolling around in the dirt. Pete Rose is staring him down. I bet you even called him a bitch.
You think?
I think so.
All right, that's an interesting take. Yeah, again, that was when All-Star games meant something and people wanted to win.
Did you see everybody getting around him and like nobody like really? They went over to Fosse too, but like everybody was like, yeah, to Pete Rose, like he scored. Sure. Yeah, like he just scored the winning run in the World Series.
Yeah, again, it was a different era. Guys wanted to win every game. Now, again, these guys weren't making a ton of money. This is just at the era where guys stopped having to work two jobs. But guys were not making tons of money, and you got to play in an All-Star game. You made more money. It was more money in your pocket. It was important to these guys back then.
I think one of the best All-Star moments that I ever remember. Was watching Dave Parker.
Yes, I was just going to say the same thing.
Throw the fucking ball from right field and nailed Brian Downing out at the plate.
Let's see. Let me see if I can get that up for you right now, Jeff. Let's see. And
that used to be on the credits of This Week in Baseball.
Sure. Mel Allen.
Mel Allen, yep. And I remember him. And they used to show that play, and Dave Parker had a rifle as an arm, man.
Yeah, the Cobra. Yes, the man had the cannon.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Here we go.
That is Greg Puff Nettles. And here comes Dave Parker with a cannon of a throw, Jeff. Cannon. And guess who the catcher is? Can you figure out who the catcher is?
Gary Carter. But you know something?
There it is.
Look, Gary Carter. If Gary Carter, go back a little bit for that one, and then stop it right where Gary Carter is at the plate.
Okay, hold on.
All right, Gary Carter played that perfectly. He blocked the plate. Look where he is.
Yep.
He blocked the plate as he's coming towards the ball.
Yeah,
and it forced him to go way outside.
Wow.
And that's another tag. I mean, probably didn't look it, but it certainly looked like a car accident in the making, the way that Brian Downing went all over the place.
Yeah, he's got to go way around him to try to score.
Yep.
He's out. Easy, yeah. Hell of a throw by Dave Parker.
Yeah, and Gary Carter, Brian Downing didn't come anywhere near the fucking plate, man.
Brian Downing still hasn't touched the whole plate. Still has not touched the whole plate to this point. So, yeah, I agree. There's Reggie Jackson on second base. And that was the throw. Yeah, but Dave Parker, another guy who's not in the Hall of Fame, where I kind of question, I would not say I was the biggest Dave Parker fan, but I think the guy was certainly a Clemente Pete. You had a hose. There's a few guys, but that's we were talking All-Star game, and that was certainly a big play in a big All-Star game. It was a big run back in the day for them.
I was just reading about Dave Parker and him not being in the All-Star game. And a lot of people, or the thing I read was because of his involvement with the Coke scandals in the 80s.
That's possible. Not
his numbers weren't bad. I mean, they weren't great, but I always thought of him as more of a power hitter. But I think he only had like 339 home runs.
Well, let's see his stats, Jeff. Hold on right now.
He didn't have, and I don't think his batting average was that high.
290, 339 homers, almost 1,500 RBIs. So
yeah, but he played like 20 years.
He played, to be exact, let's see here.
18, I think it was.
Came up in 1973, finished in 1991 at the age of 40. So, yeah, about 18 or 19 years.
Does it give his average stats per year?
You want to hear that?
Yeah, do you mind?
Sure. You got
just the major ones, average home runs, RBIs.
84 runs. 178 hits. 178 hits average.
Okay.
35 homers. No, I'm sorry. 35 doubles, 5 triples, 22 homers, and 98 RBIs, and 10 steals was his 162 game average.
Yes, but you know what? You got to think of the time when he was playing too. Those were power numbers back then.
Sure, absolutely. 100%.
Not by today's standards, they would not. No.
This is a guy. Listen, you hit 290 back in the day. That was a good hitter. I'm not telling you he was. Now I'll give you another one real quick. He averaged, let's see, 101 strikeouts, which for a power hit is not crazy, and 45 walks a season. So 810 on the OPS. Listen, Dave Parker's a good player. I don't know. It's questionable, and you're probably right. The drug scandals probably hurt him a little bit. You're right, Frankie, but 340 homers is not terrible.
Frank, think of the time period that he was playing in. That's the thing.
Yeah, 2,700. Now again, 2,700 hits is a lot. 19 seasons, it's a little bit of hanging around. A little bit, yeah.
He hung around too, but I think he started off in the National League, and then he ended up going over to the American League, I believe.
Finished his career in Oakland, Milwaukee, Toronto, California, and Toronto. So yeah,
so
right.
All American League teams.
Correct.
It depends on the year. Milwaukee depends on what he.
1990, Milwaukee was still in the American League, I believe. So yes. So yeah, no. So yeah, he did. He was Pittsburgh, Cincinnati in the mid 80s, and then he finished up with Oakland, Milwaukee, California, and Toronto. Toronto was only 13 games played. So, but listen, a good career. Would I put him in the Hall of Fame? I think I would. I from the eye test, Dave Parker was one of the best players of his time. He was an MVP 1 year. A bunch of All-Star games.
7 All-Star games.
There you go. So Definitely a guy I would not argue, and obviously one of the best arms I've ever seen.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely one of the best arms I've ever seen. So again, Jeff and Tom just killing some time on a Thursday night. Hey, we're talking baseball. Wait, our guest is here. I finally see the half man. Going to get him right on, Jeff. Right?
Please, man, let's go.
And there he is. He hasn't been on in a long time. He's our good buddy. He's the half man, as he's been known here, but of course, he's our buddy Dominic Ginta. Dom, what's up, buddy?
How we doing, Tom? How we doing, Jeff?
What's up there, Dom?
Hey, Dom, we're talking the Cobra. We're talking Dave Parker. What's your Hall of Famer, not a Hall of Famer?
Fred McGriff did not get in, correct?
Fred McGriff is not in the Hall of Fame. That's correct.
Fred McGriff should be in before Dave Parker.
I'd have to think about that one. Interesting.
Fred McGriff had what, 497 home runs?
Something like that. Yep. I'd have to go back and take a look. Jeff, this is your you asked for the show. Go for it.
I don't even know where to start. How's it going, man? What's going on?
A lot of BS and trying to get everything settled and whatnot.
Hey, I got to jump off again for a minute, so I'll be right back. You guys have some fun.
All right. All right, do what you got to do. Dom, I got to ask. I saw your post the other day on Facebook about the new car. What are you looking at? The fucking Grand Cherokee, man, for that kind of money?
I'm not. You know what? My car is shot, Jeff. So I was just looking at cars and just putting a feel out there. And
that's insane money for a Jeep.
Like
that's insane money.
Oh, the one they sent me was a picture. It was just a Jeep Wrangler for $85,000.
Oh, a Jeep Wrangler. That's why. I thought maybe we're going after Grand Cherokee.
Say that again?
What's that?
You came in too loud. Say that again.
I thought you were looking at like a Grand Cherokee or something, not a Jeep Wrangler.
No. I was just looking for cars.
Yeah.
I went to a used car lot the other day. I had AJ with me. Of 2019, or they wanted over 20-something thousand for.
What
I said, "What are you kidding me?"
What kind of vehicle?
You know what, Jeff? I don't remember. It was as soon as he told me the price, I just was like, "Yeah, see you later." He's like, everything on the lot is over 20-something thousand.
That's the prices, bro. That's what it is.
Listen. Everybody says it's been going on for 2 years. It's going on for 2 years. Where you been? I haven't been looking for a car, so I haven't been shopping. If you're not shopping for a car, you really don't know the prices, right or wrong.
Yeah, the prices of cars have gone up through the roof, man. It's ridiculous. Thank God I'm not in the market for one, and I have a lease right now, but I'm going to look to buy the lease out when it's over, because it's just
a lot of people are buying the leases out. It's the cheaper way to go.
Yeah, I pay $450 a month on my lease now. I'm expecting to pay over $500 for it when I go to buy it, but it's going to be a lease now is like $3,800 down and $450 a month. I'm not paying that. Put that money down. That's insane. Right. That's insane. I want to own a car. I don't want to keep paying for it. I'm tired of paying for it.
I'm going away. I didn't want to go. Tomorrow I'm going to a used car dealership in Brooklyn. They got a Ford truck. I can't think of the name of it offhand real quick. It's 2013. It's jet black. It looks very clean. They're asking $10,500 to start. If I can get them down to like $9,000, which I'm hoping, I can give them a check on Tuesday for the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of money, so a little bit of money saved. I'd rather just, instead of financing it and have to pay anything, I'll get your banks. I called my bank. They have certified checks.
Yeah, just pay it outright. Yeah, I hear you.
I just paid the whole thing outright, Jeff. You know,
I hear you, man. I
that's the way
hear
I
you.
wanted to go. I wanted to get a new car, but with the prices they are right now, that shit ain't happening. Come on. You
They're
know,
insane. They're insane. They're insane. But listen, enough on the
I don't
cars.
even know how they're going to order new cars for the 2023s because they're going to have so many leftovers. You can't keep ordering cars because how are you going to put them on a lot?
They'll find a way, bro. They'll find a way. You don't think they have ways of doing shit. They'll get rid of those cars. But listen, I told Tommy to get you on because, football's going on. Tommy just came back. Football's going to be getting underway, and we need to know what your thoughts are about the Las Vegas Raiders.
Once football is getting Jeff, I'm in the process of moving. I had a long fucking 3-month process with that just to get the keys, and I gave money down, and that was a whole entire badel. Packing everything up from the apartment, getting out of here, and then it was a couple of little legal things, and then now that my car's completely broken down and done, I got to get a car. I'm taking friggin' Ubers everywhere. There's so much shit on my plate right now. I need like about 18 plates right now.
Oh, that sucks.
So yeah, I'm just trying to get through everything. And I'm trying to weather the storm, as they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sucks, man.
This is my week with AJ. We're in Lake George this week normally.
Right.
For a week.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't do the trip because my car would not make it up there. And I couldn't afford it because I'm moving Monday and I had to finish packing and there was no way going from Sunday to Saturday, getting back here Sunday and have one day to pack a whole entire apartment of all my stuff and whatnot.
That sucks.
And I couldn't afford both,
That sucks.
So I lost my Lake George trip this year.
Oh,
and
fuck pirates.
Jeff, you ever rent a car from Enterprise?
No, Dom.
I have.
I never had to rent a car, so I know nothing.
Tom, did they ever get you with all the hidden fees and costs? And
I have to tell you, my one experience, I did it the first time I went to Florida. I think it was last year. My wife and I went to Tampa. We rented a car. It couldn't have been a better experience.
You were lucky.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better experience for us. So I gotta be honest with you, I'm sure I got a couple of costs that I didn't realize about it, but I got off the plane. They getting to the rental place was great, and then when I got there, the guy's like, what kind of car you want? Pick whatever one you want. You paid for this, but who cares? I'm going to upgrade you. Like, they couldn't have been nicer all the way around. So my experience with
must be, Tommy, that must not to interrupt you. That must be in Florida.
Yes, that is in Florida.
Brooklyn or in Staten Island, they friggin' rob you blind.
I'm sure, Dom. I'm sure.
Sucks. What are they getting you a day?
What?
How much a day, Dom?
Well, put it this way, Jeff. My credit got a little screwed up, so I have a lot of credit limits on my cards. But I have about 500 left on one card I don't touch.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to get a car for 3 days: Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night, and bring it back Saturday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a problem. It was like 105 a day, whatever. Came out to $412. Not a problem. I give him a credit card. She goes, oh, well, we need a $300 hold on the credit card, and we need all the taxes and finances. It's going to be about $800.
Oof. Wow.
I said, wait a minute. You never told me about these charges when I booked it.
Yeah, really? What the fuck?
I said, no, they didn't, because I wouldn't have booked it knowing my credit limit.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Then you can't have it.
Wow.
And I mean, they were rude as friggin' possible.
Wow. That sucks.
All right, let's get back. Tommy, come on. Dave Parker or Fred McGriff? Who deserves it first?
Well, again, I was wrong. Frankie Catalano says that Fred McGriff is in the Hall of Fame. So I'll have to say that Fred McGriff obviously is the better player and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, we were talking. I know
he was borderline for so long.
Yeah. No, listen, he's in, so we can't. There's no more borderline. If Frankie Catalano says he's in, he's in. So I haven't looked it up, but
he played a long time, Fred McGriff. I remember
19 or 20 years, sure.
Yeah, he was out there a long time.
It was a Yankee prospect. He got traded. He was a Yankee prospect. He got traded in one of those 1980s deals, like Willie McGee and like Doug Drabeck. So many guys. Jay Buhner.
Tom, can you pull up who they traded Fred McGriff for?
I could check. Let's see. Fred Griff.
If you give me his initials, I probably remember who it is.
Hold on. Yankees. Where I get here, Dom? Let's see. Fred McGriff. Okay, in 1982, the Yankees dealt Fred McGriff, Dave Collins, and Mike Morgan to the Toronto Blue Jays for 2 players. The initial from one of them, you might get one of them, DM.
Doc Medich.
The other guy I never heard of. Yeah, so Fred McGriff, Dave Collins, and Mike Morgan were traded to the Toronto Blue Jays for Dale Murray and Tom Dodd.
Tom Dodd
from the Braves?
I guess that was to the Yankees to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow, McGriff had to be a young farmhand, and wow.
82. So yeah, he was a young kid coming up. But McGriff, McGriff, he did hit 483 home runs, 24 for 19 years, only 2,400 hits. So not not terrible. I mean, obviously, but
How many career home runs? 490.
493, yeah, which is a lot for that era.
But wasn't he a pretty much a DH?
First baseman for most of his career. Then he moved over to DH, I believe, at the end. So interesting. So Dom, no Raider talk tonight. I mean, I know I want to get you some Yankee stuff, but Jeff asked you about the Raiders. Any thoughts on the Raiders?
Well, I mean, come on. They picked up the best receiver in the league in Devontae Adams. They got a beast in Hunter Renfrow. And third in Renfrow, you got Darren Waller. They got 5 or 6 running backs in camp with Josh Jacobs. They brought in defensive help Chandler Jones to help with.
Like they just left her.
I know, but have they done enough? Have they done enough to take over that division? There are a lot of people who think they're at best the 3rd best team in that division. More people think they're the 4th best team in that division. Have they done enough?
Yeah, they definitely did enough. That division is arguably, come on, you got to agree with me, the best division in football.
In theory, I'm not arguing that. I would think I think it's not a stretch to say that's the best division in football at this point. Would you agree, Jeff?
Well, let me ask you. It is definitely one of the best divisions in football, without a doubt. But is the window closing on Carr?
Yes.
How many more years you're going to have him and now in that division with the quarterbacks that are in that division? Holy shit, he may be number 4 out of
yeah. Well, again, I know Frankie's not going to like this. I'm not the biggest Russell Wilson fan. Now, Russell Wilson's been on some bad teams.
And he's learning a different system.
Yeah, again, I don't think he's been great the last few years. Now, he's a huge upgrade of what they've been running out there the last few years. So I do expect them to be better with Russell Wilson than they were without him. But I do think that I still think the Chargers are going to be the best team in that division. I think it's going to be a question of the Broncos done enough to overtake the Chiefs. And I do believe the Chiefs take a step back this year. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think the Chiefs.
They're losing Tyreek Hill. You got to take it.
Well, again, you still have arguably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, if not the top 3 quarterback in the league. They still have Andy Reid. They're still a good team, but teams have cycles, Jeff. And I think the Chiefs are on that cycle now, especially after last year, where it's a step backwards.
I don't think that they're going to be that bad of a team, but I think compared to what they were, it's going to show more than if it was another team. You know what I mean? This is a team that you almost basically knew that they were going 14-2, 13-3 year after year, winning the division. Maybe they're a wild card this year. I don't know if they're going to have enough to take the division, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You got 4 teams in the division. Tom, you got 4 teams in the division. They play twice each. So you're looking at 6 games each team has against the division rivals, correct?
Yeah, 6 teams. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think they're going to beat the shit out of each other all season. So I think there's going to be maybe 2 2-2s, maybe 2 3-1s, or they maybe be 4 2s against each other.
It's possible.
Or 3s against each other.
Okay.
I think they're just going to go back and forth.
Well, I think that if anything, that tells me that you might not get a the likelihood is, where are the wild cards coming from? I said from the beginning, I think there's enough talent in the West. I think a lot of it could come from the West. But if teams are going to beat
their other games.
Okay, of course it does. So, yeah, that's a pretty, that's an easy answer there. Again, I will tell you now. I have the what do you call it? The Athlon Sports. I buy this every year. Got a nice breakdown. They have the prediction for the Las Vegas Raiders to be 4th in their division this year.
What's the record? Do they have a record for them?
Let's see if they give the record. They not. But if you want, I'll give you the Raiders schedule. We can kind of go through it real quick. But there's a big announcement that's coming here. I got to play this big announcement. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you rise. Now taking the field for the very first time, your very own Las Vegas Pirates!
Haven't had the opportunity to play that. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you standing and putting the hat over the heart. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Haven't had a chance to play that very often, so I had to get that in there. But let me give you guys the Raiders schedule for the week, and then for the year. And let's see if you guys can give me a wins and losses for the Raiders this year.
All right.
Let's see, Jeff. Are you ready? Don't forget, guys. We'll be doing this next week for the whole league. Jeff and I doing the NFL training camp show, celebrating 8 years on the air. Tom's been a big part of that. Hopefully, he'll come back next week and be part of the 8th anniversary show.
I'll be on next week.
Which we
I'll
will
be on from now on.
We hope so, Dom. We miss having you on.
Yeah, really.
So here's the schedule for this year. All right. So Dom and Jeff, you're going to give me your own predictions. Jeff, you're going to go first. All right. Opening week, September 11th, the Las Vegas Raiders open up at the Los Angeles Chargers. Jeff, win or loss?
Loss.
Dom?
24-21 win.
Okay.
Tom, are you in on this too?
No, I'm just gonna. I want to get you guys' take on it. I'll save mine for next week.
I'm keeping track.
Good man. I love that about you, Jeff. September 18th, the Arizona Cardinals come to Las Vegas. Win or loss, Jeff?
Win.
Dom, win or loss?
Win.
Okay, here we go. Jeff, week 3 at Tennessee.
Win.
Dom?
That's a loss.
Okay. At week 4, they are at home to the Denver Broncos with with Russell Wilson coming to town. Jeff, win or loss?
I'm going to go loss with that one.
Dom?
Because they're home, a win.
Okay, so at the quarter poll, Jeff has them at 2-2. Dom has them at 3-1. Okay. Yes, that is true. So Frank again. Okay, so Jeff, Week 5, they're at Kansas City on a Monday night.
Loss.
Dom?
Loss.
Okay. They got the bye week between weeks 5 and 6. Jeff, they come back and they face Houston at home.
Win.
Dom?
Win.
Okay. Okay. Next week. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Week number 8 would be sorry, Jeff, at New Orleans.
Loss.
Dom?
That's a win. No Drew Brees. No Sean Payton. They're in the rebuild stage.
Okay. Next week, Jeff, is November 6th at Jacksonville.
Oh, a win.
Dom?
That's an easy win.
So at the halfway point, Jeff has them at with 1, 2,
4
1,
and 4.
2, 3. Yep, you have Jeff has them at 4 and 4. Dom's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. Dom's got him at 6 and 2.
6 and 2.
So interesting. All right. Okay. Next, now they're on the road. No, I'm sorry. Back home again for Indianapolis. Jeff.
Win.
Dom.
That's a win.
Wow. Dom's got a lot of faith
They
in this
got a
team.
favorable schedule right now.
All right. Now 2 weeks on the road in a row. First week is going to be at Denver at Mile High.
Loss.
Dom.
That's an L.
Okay. Again, staying on the road. This time, they're going to Seattle.
Win.
Dom.
It's a win. No Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll doesn't even know who the quarterback is.
Okay. Now here comes the tough part of your schedule right here, Dom. This is where the make or break part of your season is going to be. They're home to the LA Chargers. Jeff.
Loss.
Dom.
I think they're going to actually lose this game.
Okay. Again.
No, wait, whoa. Let's recap real quick. I got him at 6 and 6.
Okay, and Dom.
Dom's got him at 8 and 4.
All right, that's so we're at the 12 game mark here. About the last third of the season coming up. Jeff, on a Thursday night, they go to the LA Rams to play.
Loss.
Dom.
Win.
Wow, that's a little game. Okay. Now they fly across country, Jeff, and get.
Stadium's going to be filled with Raider fans.
All right. Listen, Jeff, they fly across country and they face the genius, Bill Belichick in New England.
Loss.
Dom.
Who's quarterback of a Belichick?
Mac Jones. Mac Jones. Right there. You got a win for that, Dom?
I got to win for that, Mr. T.
You're going to fly across country. You're going to be built. You're going to be the genius. All right. Listen, I'm not going to tell you who to tell. Okay. On a Saturday now, Jeff, right before Christmas, this Christmas Eve, the Raiders fly back again. No, I'm sorry. The New England game, guys, I apologize. Maybe it changes your votes. The New England game is at home. They're not in Foxborough. That game is at home in Vegas, Jeff. Change for you?
No.
I know it's not going to change for you, Dom, so I'll leave it alone. On Christmas Eve, Jeff, they travel across the country to play Pittsburgh on a Saturday.
No. Loss.
Dom? Dom?
I'm sorry. Well, give me a second. Flying coast to coast, early week. We're going to have to give them Pittsburgh an upset.
Okay. So we should have 2 more games.
Yes. I thought we lost you for a second, Dom. All right. Last 2 games of the season. For the last 2 at home, both of them, guys. So, Jeff, first one is New Year's Day in Frisco.
Loss.
Dom?
Win.
Okay, and then they end up January. I don't know why it says January 7th or 8th. It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess it depends. It might be a Saturday or Sunday game. Anyway, they're playing Kansas City at home. Jeff?
Loss.
Dom?
A lot's going to depend on what the records are on the thing, but if they need the win, they'll win. I'm gonna give them a win in that game.
Wow. Okay. So Dom's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11-6, I think.
You got him 12-5.
Wow.
Jeff, on the other hand, 1, 2, 3.
I got him 6-11.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's somewhere in between there, but yeah, I'm closer than Jeff's on this one.
Including losing 6 in a row, their final 6.
Yeah, you do have them losing their final 6. Interesting division, interesting team. Listen, I don't think they've done enough in the offseason, but getting Adams was a big move. You know what, Dom? Here's the problem I have with that. Other than Reggie White, there's not many guys who get traded or move as a free agent and have a big impact on the next team. So I always have a big problem when guys like God.
Yeah, he played with Carl at Fresno State. They're very close. They're like best friends.
Dom, that's got to be 9 years ago at this point. I mean, that's all out the window.
If you're comfortable with somebody, you know what route they're gonna run and how they're gonna run that route.
Listen.
It's gonna be the same exact.
Yeah, I. And by the way, you got a big compliment to guys from Black Sasquatch. Love when you're on the show. So. And they're devoted fans. We have Bub and Ted out there listening all the time. So
Frank likes them too.
Yes. Well, you know what, Dom? Listen, I think there's a lot of which ways this season could play out in the NFC and the AFC West. I believe that Justin Herbert is ready to make a big move. Jeff, I don't know if you feel the same way. I think it's going to be his year. He's going to be the standout quarterback. Maybe the best quarterback in the AFC. I got to be honest with you. I love Josh Allen, but I think Herbert's ready to make that move. Again, Russell Wilson.
90 seconds.
Boy, he could go. That could go a lot of different ways. I'm hoping it's a good one because I want to see good football out there. But
we're gonna lose Dom in 90 seconds.
No, I think he'll be able to stay on the air with us. Once he's on,
okay.
he's on. That's good. Yeah, Jeff.
I don't know, Tom. I mean, listen, I would like to see Herbert make a move and take it to the next level. That would be great. I think that he's a good player, and I would like to see him.
Let me ask you this: rank the quarterbacks in the division right now, and I'm going to ask Dom to do the same. Rank the quarterbacks in the division based on who you think is best to worst.
Mahomes. Mahomes, Wilson, because they're both Super Bowl winners. Herbert, and then Carr, and I would have. To me, after Mahomes, it could go any which way. I find it hard to put any of those guys in any of those positions except for Mahomes.
I'm going to base it on where I think the guys are talent-wise right now. If you're asking me, I'm going to tell you I want Herbert, Mahomes, Wilson, and Carr. I like Derek Carr. I think I think he's a good ball player.
I gotta say it is.
Yeah, of course you do. I got to feel I know where you're going, but go ahead.
I'm not gonna say Carr number one because I ain't stupid. I'm not, just because I'm a diehard Raider fan. I'm gonna go Herbert 1, Mahomes 2, Carr 3, Wilson 4th. I think Wilson is done. I don't think he has anything left. I think playing in Denver is gonna kill him. I think he's playing a different system than he played, and I think he's going to take a huge step back. But even Carr being ranked 3rd out of those 4, he's not going to be big because he can still put up 10, 11 wins.
Again, I think. Listen, if they all do each other in, I think that's a tough schedule. I mean, when you look at that schedule, you have a run there. I mean, Denver, Kansas City, then you get your break. Then you come back. Okay, you get Houston, New Orleans, Jacksonville, and should be an easy run of 3 games right there. But then you get Indianapolis, Denver. You're going at Seattle, which is still a tough place to play. You got the Chargers, the Rams, the Steelers. The Chargers, the Rams, and Pittsburgh and New England. It's a tough stretch, Tom. I think if you're lucky, this team wins 9 games. I'm going to put it to paper next week, and we'll go through them all. And I hope you do come back next week. Next week it's all football. We got one wrestler. We got a good.
I'll be back next week.
All right, so we're going to break down the football, the whole entire league. So I'd love to get your thoughts on some of the other stuff going on in the league. But I think your Raider team could be a good one. I just think the problem is, and like Jeff's Jets, I think the Jets are going to be an improved team this year. But I think the problem is they're stuck in a bed in a good division and in a really good conference.
You realize that they're opening up 4 against the AFC North. They may get clobbered there. And then they got 6 games in their own division. If they lose, they could lose all of those fucking games and be 0-10 before they even get out of it.
I'll give you the Jets schedule, which we'll do next week. So I'm not going to get into in the weeds with it this week, Jeff, because we both have we want to hold off on the Jets a little bit. Let's see. Why am I not finding the Jets in my program here? Patriots. Okay, Jets. Here's the Jets schedule for 2022. And Jeff, you're right. You're coming out the box. You're at home to Baltimore. You're on the road to Cleveland. Now that's not an automatic loss. Cincinnati, tough game at home. Okay, the 2 tough ones are in your building, so that's a little bit of a hope.
I'm going to tell you right now, before you even leave this subject about the AFC North.
Yeah.
I don't think Cincinnati is going to be the team that you think they are. I think they're going to take a step backwards. I think Burrow is going to continue to grow, but I think that the team itself is not going to be the same team that it was last year. I think they were a total Cinderella team getting to the Super Bowl last year.
I'm not arguing that. I think that division might not be what we think it should be. I don't think Baltimore's going to be great. Cleveland's got too many issues. Cleveland's got too many issues that I think to deal with right now. And I think you're right. I don't think Cincinnati is going to be a dominant force. I think they'll win their share of games because they have a good quarterback, a great receiving core, but there's still some issues. That defense gave up a lot of points last year.
I just don't see them being that team, a Super Bowl contender.
And Pittsburgh, we don't know what we're going to see from Pittsburgh this year. Who's their starting quarterback this year?
Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? Is it Trubisky? Yeah. So, again, at Pittsburgh, then they got Miami at home. Here's where it gets tough. At Green Bay, at Denver, New England, Buffalo, New England. That's a rough stretch for the Jets. Then they get Chicago, Minnesota, again, at Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, Miami. It's not the toughest schedule in the whole world, Jeff.
For the Jets?
Well, again, I don't know. Obviously, they made a lot of great moves in the offseason. Most people think they won the offseason. We all know what that means, nothing. But I think it's still going to be about the growth of the quarterback. How good does the quarterback get?
Well, listen, he's got some tough games, and the games within his division are going to be tough. You got the AFC North. Listen, the only saving grace of playing the AFC North in September is that 2 of those games aren't going to be fucking, 25 degrees with wind and freezing rain and getting pelted with hard shit coming out of the sky in bad weather.
Yep.
Yep.
So Don, what's your thoughts this year, Don? What are you looking forward to for the NFL besides the Raiders? Where do you think the big news is coming out? Is it going to be the dominance of the AFC conference? Being that much better than the NFC? Is it the fact that the NFC is wide open right now and there's a whole, there's maybe 2 good teams and then a bunch of babies?
I think the Deshaun Watson suspension for a year is going to come out maybe 2 weeks before game 1 and totally screw up everything in Cleveland.
I think it's already screwed up in Cleveland, to be honest with you. To
finish the screw up.
Yeah, I think, Dom, that it's a good point. We talked about it earlier in the show. I think both Jeff and I agree that he deserves to get over a year, but we seem to be thinking more it's going to be a little bit less than that. And I think he's going to wind up, I think between the actual suspension and then his appeal, I'm going to think he's going to get 8 games. I want to put it on record, Jeff. What do you say?
I think it's going to be less. I think it's going to be 5 to 7 games.
Yeah, I think it's
close to 5.
I'm not disagreeing. John, what are you thinking?
All right. I just said the season, I think. But he's saying he does get 7 games or 6 games, whatever. If Cleveland goes 2-4 in those 6 games, How are they going to recap to make the playoffs at all?
Again, I think it'd be very tough for that conference.
You're starting way back now.
Oh, I agree. I don't think anybody's looking at Cleveland this year. Now, we'll look at Cleveland's schedule next week. Maybe they get lucky. I'll give it to you real quick, Jeff. You mind if I give you Cleveland's schedule real quick?
Go right in.
Let's take a look at Cleveland's schedule right now, real fast. I'm going to give you the first 8 games, Jeff.
Do all 16 or 17, whatever.
So, okay. Okay, so, that's the Steelers. I'm sorry. I got Browns in the draft. Browns schedule. Here we go. Ready, guys?
Yep.
Okay. At Carolina, not a tough game, I wouldn't think, but big matchup. Baker Mayfield getting to play against his former team.
Well, that's what it looks like now.
That's what it looks like. The Jets, they get the Jets at home. They go Thursday night, they go at home to Pittsburgh. Then they get Atlanta, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Ravens, and the Bengals. A tough opening schedule. I would tell you, maybe you're lucky. 3 of those games, I think, are probably winnable if you're Cleveland. At Carolina, because it's pretty much a win. The Jet game at home is let's pencil it in. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Then you get the Chargers, the Patriots, the Ravens, and Bengals. So I think at best after 8 games, you could probably say they're going to be 4-4 at best.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see them going to the playoffs.
No, I think Dom, that's your. I think Dom, you're to your point. I think that's a tough thing to come back from in a very tough conference. Know what I mean?
Absolutely, and you're starting. Even if they go 4-4, I'm looking more 3 or 5 in that stretch. Man, you got 5 losses. Pirates. You're not looking at a division title anymore. You're looking at a wild card. But what wild card are you looking at?
Probably a third one. Probably third one.
Yeah, I don't see it working out good for them, man.
Yeah, I would say it's an interesting. It'll be an interesting season. But Dom, listen, we'll let you go. But listen, next week we'd love.
Dom, just give me 2 minutes
for
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Please.
Go.
I want both of your opinions on this. Juan Soto turning down $440 million. How greedy can these ball players get? What is next? Here's the keys. You own the team.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a little. It's hard for me, Dom, because I agree with you. When you look at it, though, they offered over 15 years, so it's about $29 million, which is less than some of the other guys.
Salary, but it's still $400.
No, Dom. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy's a fantastic player. This is all about the union. The union wants one of their players, and they want it to either be Soto or Judge, one of these guys this year to get close to $500 million. Will Soto get it? Yeah, I think if Soto's on the open market, somebody's going to give him a 12-year, $500 million deal.
Let me ask you something. He plays for Washington, correct?
He plays for the Nationals. Suppose
he just doesn't want to play for Washington. And suppose he goes someplace else and he ends up taking even less money than what Washington gives him. What's everybody's thought process going to be about him then?
Yeah, I can't.
He just doesn't want to play in Washington.
Yeah, you got to remember the union. Well, Callahan don't do that.
Yes. Yeah, the problem is, first off, guys, remember, he's under control. His contract runs for the rest of this year and 2 more seasons. So technically, he's not a free agent until after the 24 season. So he could be traded now or next year, and he's still under control for another 2 seasons after this year. So
he doesn't necessarily have to sign.
No, he's not going to. Nobody, and probably nobody. They'll try to sign him, but the likelihood is that he won't get a deal. Now he could theoretically say, if you trade me, I want a new deal when I get traded, but nobody has to do that. And he's not going to sit out and beg for a contract. So he's got to play the next 2 years or hope that the team that trades for him offers him the long-term deal so he doesn't get the free agency. But Dom, for me, I agree with you, but it's a different era.
Tom, when Don Mattingly in the mid-'80s was the best player in baseball.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember this, Jeff. I don't know if you remember this. He signed the highest contract in baseball history.
Yep.
4 years or 5 years, $19.75 million.
Yeah.
And that's not a year total.
Yeah.
It was like $4.7 million a year. It was less than $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Like a wet sponge gets $5 million a year.
It's I listen. I totally agree. It's a different era. I mean, it's all totally different. The base. Think of the money that's out there right now for baseball. They're getting money from Amazon, ESPN, Fox. You know, there's 3 national contracts that they're getting billions and millions and billions of dollars for. It's a different game. You know, when we watched baseball back in the day, it was Pix 11. I mean, that was it. There wasn't these big money contracts. So
Listen, the one thing that I understand everything that you guys are saying, but I disagree.
But Jeff?
I said I understand what you guys are saying, but I disagree. I'm trying to get to it so I could have the numbers up.
Okay.
And that is simply that right now, as we stand, the Washington Nationals are 31-63, so they're 32 games under 500.
Correct.
They're 27.5 games out of first place. They have a run differential of minus 149, and they're 1-9 in their last 10 games with 1 win. Why does this guy want to sign a contract and stay with that team for that many years? I wouldn't want to stay there.
Well, do you remember something, Jeff? They just won the World Series 3 seasons ago.
Then what'd you have for lunch yesterday?
I got that, but I'm saying this is not.
So what happened yesterday is no big deal.
I got it, but this is not a historically bad team. This is a team that a couple of years ago was there. Now listen, I understand they're a bad team. He definitely wants out of there. Obviously, he turned out $440 million. So yeah, listen, Jeff, totally agree. He wants to go play. He said, "I want to play for a winner," but it's only 3 years since the guy won a World Series. It ain't like they're bottom of the barrel every year.
How many times did Dan Marino get to the World Series, the Super Bowl? Just once.
That's it.
So this guy was even on the fucking team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So he made it once.
Yeah.
Maybe he never goes again.
And you can get traded to another team and never make the World Series with that team. So
how many times did Don Mattingly make it to the World Series?
None.
There you go.
Tom,
yeah,
he's under control, like you said, for another 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
So listen, nobody's saying that he's got to go tomorrow. He's still, what is he, 23 years old, this kid?
He's 23, going to be 24. Listen, he's the kind of guy, if you have to trade.
Not for nothing. He's not even full grown yet.
No. Listen, I'm not big on these huge contracts and giving these guys 10, 12-year deals. This is a kid, I would strongly consider it. He's 23 years old. If you give a 10-year contract, he'd be 33.
The Yankees want to win the World Series this year. They could trade for him wait 2 years and then decide what to do and just all let him walk.
Correct. Again, I agree with that. Again, it all comes down to also, do you really think? I think if the Yankees make the trade, they believe that they will not be able to sign Judge at the end of the year. I think if the Yankees feel that they can make the move and sign Judge.
Well, that was my next question.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you trade from, does that mean Judge is definitely gone?
I don't know if he's definitely gone, but I would say, listen, do I think the Yankees can afford, $30-something million for Cole, $30-something million for Stanton, 40+ for both of those guys? No, I don't think the Yankees will do both. I think if they made the move for Soto, I'm just saying this. I think if they made the move for Soto, that's telling me that they don't believe they can sign Judge or they don't want to sign Judge. Listen, I'm a huge Judge guy. I think he's a tremendous ball player, but I would not give him a 10-year deal at 30, 31 years old and not have to know that the last 4 or 5 years of that, I will be regretting this deal the whole time. So
I don't even think they got to get to that point in time.
Correct. Agreed. But,
probably before the halfway point.
But you know what? Frank Catalano's question, would I make that move and give up prospects? Yes. But why? Because they're prospects. If you told me that I'd have to give up if I had to trade Soto to get Soto, I'd have to trade Cole and Clay Holmes. And no, I might not do that. But if I have to give up a bunch of prospects, yeah, because the likelihood is most of those prospects will not turn into anything. That's the way it happens. So, yes, if I was either the Yankees or the Mets, and the Mets would have to make an offer, Frankie, that is huge because there's no way the Nationals want to trade him inside their division. So they'd have to be the front runner by far. If it's even close, he's going somewhere else. So I don't believe he's getting traded, Dom. To go back to the beginning, I don't think there's enough time to pull off the deal because Boris.
No, August 2nd?
Yeah.
You're looking at what?
2 weeks.
The 22nd?
Yeah, you're less than 2 weeks. You're less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, you're looking at 11 days.
Yeah.
There's no way.
The problem is Boris, who's his agent, and the kid are going to come out and say, if you trade us, we might not report because we want a new deal in a trade. And, they're not going to get that done in 11 days. So to me, again, he may get traded to the Yankees or the Mets or to the Dodgers or somebody that he wants to go play for, and he'll let the chips fall where they may. I just don't think that he'll get traded tomorrow. I don't think he'll get traded.
Well,
maybe in the offseason.
Tom, if he wants a 15-year deal, he's better off going to the American League because, like you said, he's 23, going to be 24. 15-year deal means he's 39. You don't want a guy at 39 patrolling center field at Yankee Stadium. You're going to move him to DH.
I would agree with that, but don't forget, you have the DH in the National League too now, so he could go play anywhere to do that. I think there's only a few spots.
Why does he want to take a 15-year deal anyway?
Correct. You're right.
3 years old. He's insane. He should be going after a 5-year deal at max to see a way in 5 years, he's still going to get a mega deal.
If I were him,
after that, he could still get a mega deal.
10 years. 10 years
That's
at
an excellent point.
Yep.
If he takes a 10-year deal,
yep.
if he takes a 10-year deal before it gets to the 5-year mark, he's already going to outplay his contract if he's that good of a player.
It's very possible.
For a 5-year deal to see a way you're packing up the stats.
I agree, except if he gets hurt. If you take the 5-year deal and he gets hurt, Jeff, now you're not getting that second big deal.
Yes, but if he gets,
that's the risk.
Let's say he gets $30 million a year.
He's going to get more than that. He's going to get 40.
Well, let's say 5-year deal, $30 million a year.
Okay.
$150 million. You can't live off of that.
No, you can, Jeff. That's not the point. I agree with you. If I were him, I took the $440 million deal, like Dom said. But I understand. But his thing is he's going to want to be paid as at the top of the everyday player market, which is going to be somewhere in the area of 40, 42 million, maybe get to 45 million. He's going to get that, whether it's for 5 years or for 10 years, he's going to want that average. You're right, Jeff. You could bet on yourself, play the 5 years out, and then, he'll probably wind up with a 10-year deal at that point for close to $50 million if he plays the way it is now.
Here's my thing. If he turns around and he holds out and he says, I'm only going to a contender. I don't want to get, whatever, whether it's the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, whatever. Then I would put a little faith in the guy. I would believe in him a little bit more than he's not chasing a contract. Because then if he turns around, let's just say he gets 10 years, $370 million.
Right.
People are going to be like, well, he's insane. He goes, yeah, but now I'm on a contender. This team's been a contender for the last 10 years. Now I'm here. I'm going to keep it a contender for the next 10 years.
Oh, that would actually almost be refreshing to take a little less money to go to a great team because you want to win more.
And you know that he's going to make up the money in endorsements. If they win, they start winning, and he's a great player. He's going to get money any which way he can, endorsements, whatever. So he's going to make his money. Don't you worry.
No, I would agree. I'm not concerned. I think he will make his money. But they want to make it on the field first, and then get the residuals after that. But listen, there's only a few teams: Texas, the Angels, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, maybe Boston. I'll put Boston in there. I don't know if they're going for it, but there's 6 or 8 teams. Frankie says the Cardinals. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I would still put my money on one of those teams, but I just think it's too big a deal, Dom. I think it gets done. If it gets done, it's going to be in the offseason. That's my opinion.
Tom, hold on.
I can't see you by August 2nd. No way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be tough to do. I also think that you bring more teams. Right now, there's a lot of teams that are out of it. So a lot of teams are not going to want to even think about making a trade for him now. I think if you wait till the offseason, you'll have probably a dozen teams or better that will at least give it a thought to make the move. So I think if they're smart, unless they get blown away, Frankie, if somebody blows them away, prospects, a couple of major league players, probably some cash involved, go for it. Other than that, if you're on the borderline of liking the deal, I think you got to wait till the offseason. I think you'll bring more people into it, and I think you go farther. But listen, right now, the Washington Nationals have a chance to determine the World Series winner by not even playing in the World Series. So, yeah, who they trade him to?
The dark horse right now is Texas.
Yes,
and
they're
have
always
a ton of money to spend.
But and again, for what though? They're habitually a bad team. They're not well run. Does he want to go there? Now he won't have a choice if they trade him. I agree with you, but I think if they're smart, Washington, he put it this way: the deal's being talked about. Their agent's going to let that team know one way or the other, or all the teams know where he wants to go, and that's going to scare some people off. So, but again, Frankie, you guys got to get a big bat. You probably need a couple of bats, but you definitely need a big bat. Stay away from Nelson Cruz for sure. JD Martinez is a good one. Bell's a good one. I even like the kid from Kansas City. I can't Benintendi. I like him. I think that for the Mets, that's a good pickup, but the Mets need a batter too. The Yankees, I don't know. I don't know what they need right now.
They need something. They're falling apart.
In the outfield, you can't keep going with Hicks and Joey Gallo.
No, again, I think at this point, I would play Carpenter every day with Stanton and Judge in the outfield and just rotate through third 3 DH. I think the Yankees have to make a move for a bat. I just don't see them making an in-season move like this to get Soto. It would be very George Steinbrenner-ish if they did it, guys. I mean, to bring another guy in. I mean, if they make this move now, you're talking about an outfield of Soto, Stanton, and Judge. That's as good, if not better, than anybody else in the league. You bring Soto on this team.
Yeah, but Tom, how long can Carpenter last? I mean, listen.
I don't know. Until he stops. That's what I say.
Incredible right now, yeah, but can he last a whole season now?
Yeah, I just don't see Steinbrenner, how Steinbrenner allowing them to spend another, I mean, I don't think the kid's making much money now. So, but you're going to be giving up the farm system, a ton of guys out of the farms, which is fine for me. If you bring in Soto, I got the guaranteed top 5, top 3 baseball player in all of baseball. So, but you're right, Frankie. I don't think they'll give up the prospect, but they do have a lot, and you could take a couple of pitchers off. They could trade Cortez or a Montgomery. Montgomery's pitched really well this year. Cortez has pitched good. So you could give up a couple of major leaguers and some prospects if you're the Yankees. So that's the one thing.
I'm not even talking about just Soto. I'm talking about outfield help. They've said it's not Soto.
Yeah.
They can't. You're going to rotate Stanton and Carpenter in the DH spot. Judge is going to play right or center field. So you're still going to, you can't have Gallo out there batting.
No, of course. Listen, they have to.
Out 3 times a game. And you can't have Hicks batting 230 out there.
Listen, I agree with you.
You definitely need an outfield bat.
No, Dom, there's no doubt about that. The one thing I would do if I were the Yankees, I would go get a bat, an outfielder who could play the outfield and swings a good bat. So yeah, of course, I would make that move if I'm the Yankees. They have to make that move, but Corbin's terrible, Frankie.
They don't need catcher help.
No,
they need an outfield bat.
Yes, 100%. Corbin's horrendous, Frankie. That's a guy. I'm so glad the Yankees didn't get signed. He went to the Nationals instead, taking the Yankees' money, and thank God he's been horrendous. So we'll stay away from him. But guys, listen, we got to end this show tonight. I don't know how we got through 2.5 hours, Jeff, but we managed to do it.
Yeah, I knew we were going to do it.
So, Dom, I'll let you go first. But, Dom, like I said, we'd love to have you back next week to talk a lot of football with us. So, hopefully you'll have a better week this week. You know the phone number if you need anything.
Thanks a lot, T. Thanks, Jeff. Frankie, have a good night. And, Tom, I'll talk to you during the week, brother.
Pirates.
You got it, Dom. Have a good night, pal.
All right, later, brother.
See you later, man.
Later, Jeff.
Later.
All right, we'll say goodbye to
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio for
Goodbye.
tonight. Jeff, it's been a fun show. It's been a good one. 549 episodes in the books. 500.
That's a lot of shows.
In the books, Jeff.
He's away.
Yes, the Calf Man is gone.
I thought you were showing sympathy towards
I
him.
did show him a little sympathy. I did him a couple times. Could have hit him a few more.
Had it.
He's back for the first time in months. I had to give him a little bit. Next week, it's full rage.
You know what he reminded me of tonight?
What was that?
He reminded me of a heavyweight boxer coming back to the ring after like a 2.5 year layoff.
It's a very good point. Yes, I
Yeah,
would agree with that.
And there he was. He held his own.
Yeah, he did.
Every once in a while, a punch came through.
Yeah,
and his fucking back of his head touched his back.
He did. Yes, he definitely.
And he had to recover that. And like when you hit him with those butt pirates,
yeah,
I could see in slow motion, go butt pirates, and he's like, and he's looking.
But he recovered. He recovered and got back in it.
Yeah.
He recovered and got back in it, Jeff. You got to give the little guy credit.
He recovered, yeah, but I wouldn't say he recovered though, Tom. Like,
he's definitely not recovering as fast as he used to. Let's put it that way.
no, that's ring rust, man. Ring
That's
rust.
it. Absolutely. So hopefully we'll get him back on next week and have some more fun with him. And hopefully you guys will all come back, including Frankie and everybody who's always a big part of the show. Thank you guys. Again, 549 tonight. Next week, 550 episodes of the Hard Rock and Sports Show. We celebrate 8 years on the air with our NFL training camp show. Jeff, myself, B. Brian Blair will be joining us. That's right, wrestling great B. Brian Blair, our good buddy Mark Scott, and hopefully some others will be joining us to wish us a happy anniversary. So I'm looking forward to next Thursday already. Try to get home a little early that day, get a nap in before the show, and Jeff and I will be getting ready to do a big NFL training camp for you next week. So make sure you guys come on back. So Jeff, final word for you.
Maybe you should try to eat a little plaster of Paris too.
Yes. Either that, I have to give myself a plug. Either that, or I have to get a commode brought right here. So tonight was the chocolate fountain, Jeff.
Well, you should have a setup in the shitter.
Yeah, I can set this up right in the bathroom, man. Right on top of the dryer, sitting on the throne, do the whole show.
Dude, that would be fucking great. You just sit there, you just
blasting away. The second time, I almost carried the computer to the bathroom with me. I was going to do it, but I said, nah, I can't do it.
God, that'd be fucking great.
But we'll end it on that note. So, again, listen, guys, thanks to Dom for checking in. Thanks for everybody who paid attention online, Frankie and Sam Bone. Thank you we want to thank our friends in Sweden, the band Pressure, for, again, letting us debut their new single, Air of Freedom. Great job by the band, and thank you guys all very much for letting us be a part of that and premiering it right here on our show. And again, thanks to all the people who support us each week. Our good buddies at Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. and Jay Giasio, Chris LaFrancesca, and his online record store on eBay, of course. Metro Records, thanks to Sam Bone, RFL Records, so many people. I hope I named them all. For checking in with us, and we love doing this, and hopefully we'll be doing this for a few more years, but we'll see. We take it year to year on the show. But Jeff, we're getting ready to get into the football season, man. It's our time of year.
Yes, sir.
It's where the show kicks off, and next week we will break down the league, and we'll run through a whole bunch of the big stories. We did a few tonight, but there's a lot to talk about for another NFL season kicking off right with our anniversary and 550 shows. So, guys, I'll say thank you to everybody again. Please have a great rest of your week and a great weekend and a fantastic week. Stay cool, guys. Jeff, I hope you've had a great vacation. I'm looking forward to next Saturday. I'm going to get a chance to change now to hang out with you again, with you and your wife and some friends.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it, and it's become a yearly thing. I think this is going to be the 5th year.
Wow.
That we've had this barbecue. Oh yeah, this will be the 3rd time here. This will be the 5th year that we're having it, and every year just seems to get better and better. And the yard's going to be a little tight this year because I bought this monster shed, which you saw.
I saw a beautiful shed.
I put a Christmas lights up inside the gazebo.
Uh-huh.
I put a surround sound unit in the shed.
Wow.
So I'm using the shed as a giant bass speaker, which sounds good, except I can't find the remote for the surround sound. Being that I can't find the remote for the surround sound, I can't change the tuner. So my wife, because I know I didn't do it unless I did it when it was Christmas time, had 106.7 on.
Okay.
And we never switched it back over to Q104.3. So we can't have a rowdy barbecue and have 106.7 playing.
No,
you know?
especially it's not Christmas. It's not Christmas music. It's I think it's still Light FM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's definitely not Cool FM. Let's put it that way.
So, well, that's next Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit next week on the show. But again, thanks to our buddies at Black Sasquatch for checking in. I love those guys, Bub and Ted and the boys. They're fans of the show, and we're fans of theirs, and we so appreciate all their help. And again, remember, we got the Sunday Audible coming up in a few weeks. I'm not sure what weekend we're picking yet to start the show off, but maybe we're going to wait till September. I'm not really sure. But the Sunday Audible will be returning. Check out SundayAudible.com to buy or to listen and catch your biggest news. And, of course, to buy your NFL gear through Fanatics. Do us a favor and check it out. So, again, Jeff, you got anything else you want to finish with?
No, that's it, man.
Jeff, enjoy the last couple of days of your vacation, my brother.
Hours, actually.
Well, yeah. Well, whatever it is, enjoy it left. And I will talk to you off the air. And again, for Jeff Towinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Have a great week and a great week. And we'll see you back here next Thursday night with our big anniversary show. So, Jeff, have a good one, pal. Talk to you off the air.
Later, man. And don't drink too much Pepto-Bismol. It makes everything turn black. You don't want that.
No. I think I'm finally good. I think the fountain is shut down. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're okay at this point. Thanks.
You gotta hope, man, because you just gotta hope.
No, believe me, we're definitely hoping. So, but so far so good. We're okay.
There was man. Let's see if I don't know if I can get this to play over this way. I found this one day. It is. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Did you hear me with diarrhea?
Yes, yeah, I heard. Yes, I'm hearing it. Thank you.
That is 1 hour, and like it's over an hour of that commercial being played over and over again.
Oh my god, I want to fucking shoot myself.
Yeah, but when he does that diarrhea, that's the best part.
The commercial for it's even better, though. You have to see the commercials for it. It's even better.
Yeah, well, that's an hour. That's the same commercial over and
Oh my god.
loop. And the best part is the diarrhea. That's great.
Well, on that note, folks, you guys have a great night, a great week. We'll see you next Thursday night. Hard Rock and Sports out. And again, Jeff, I'll talk to you off the air.
Later, man.
Later, man.